Drugs. See your girl in the park. System overload.
This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full Time MMA. Don't be a bagel biting, bagel bitch boy, bagel bitch back.
What's going on, Full Time family? It's time to start the show. I see the family is already in the building. We got Mr. Perfect, Devontae Bartholomew, Johnny Thompson. What's going on? Best analyst and commentator in the game uses skill, speed to maul bigger opponents, says Yargin. Talking about Yargin Champ, says Johnny Thompson. What's going on, everybody? You guys ready to talk about Mayweather versus McGregor too? Me either, but we're going to for just a little bit, because Floyd Mayweather Sr. has came out and said Mayweather-McGregor rematch is being talked about. He's confirmed this. Now, being talked about, of course, doesn't mean anything right now. It's just opening the conversation. Of course, anything can't be set in stone. Conor McGregor's got to fight Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 229, but the rematch might happen. It, of course, did great business, so why would they not want to do great business again? The question is, do you guys think that the demand would be there? Well, it looks like there's been enough Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor chatter just with the back and forth they've had on social media to maybe begin those talks. So we're going to talk about that. But we've got 29 people watching now. As soon as you guys, I know a lot of you are probably still biting on your bagels because you just got here. But as soon as you're done biting on your bagels, do your boy a favor, hit the thumbs up button. That would be much appreciated. Man, we already got 28 people in here. I really don't want to start the show off with a song, so I'm not going to. But this, we of course, we were going to start it off with a UFC Yankovic. And actually, we'll just play it a little later because your boy Mystic Full Time might be onto something. You guys remember that lyric? I'ma fuck Khabib up, then go rematch Floyd Money for Mayweather. I'm just saying, what if, because if Conor McGregor gets mauled by Khabib, which is a very real possibility, I don't know how much the Mayweather-McGregor rematch happens. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's still there, but I just think there's a lot about Conor McGregor coming off of a win as far as if he's going to be going to another sport and shit like that. You know, that I don't know. That's just my opinion. But with that being said, let's see what Floyd Mayweather Sr. had to talk about. Fight Channel said, hello from Marrakech, Morocco. What's going on, Fight Channel? How's it going in Morocco? Shout out to Morocco. I don't want to pronounce the first one wrong. Marrakech, Morocco. What's going on, brother? All Pro Limited said Conor needs a win bad. And man, that's interesting. Let's talk about that a little bit. Does Conor McGregor need a win? Chris Crooks, what it is? What's going on, brother? He does. Of course, of course it helps. But the question is, does he need a win? If Conor McGregor loses, why does he need a win? Like, what happens? It's not like he's forced to retire. Of course, his next fight's not going to do as good of business, but it probably depends on the opponent. I mean, if Conor McGregor, let's talk about Floyd Mayweather. If he loses, versus Floyd Mayweather, I do think that might hurt that fight. But what about Nate Diaz? That's a fight we all want to see anyway. So I don't know. I mean, of course, a win would be great business for McGregor, but I don't know if he absolutely needs one here. It's going to be a hard fight versus Khabib. And, I mean, it's going to be crazy if he does come in here and upset the world again, which I really, it's so hard. I picked Khabib. I'm leaning toward Khabib. I mean, there hasn't really been any reason for me to waver that thought, except for the fact that we're picking against Conor McGregor once again. That's why you're like, what the fuck? We did it, but why? He's been away from the sport for going on 2 years, though. He was boxing. Boxing, for one, when he was in his training for boxing, he wasn't working on his grappling, you would imagine, until right afterward. We did see some pictures of McGregor training with some grapplers, like, right afterward, but he wasn't focused on, so it's just like he's coming off of a boxing camp, coming into this fight with Khabib. Of course, he's been putting in the work in the meantime, in between time. We've seen him training jiu-jitsu in Brazil. We've seen him training with some great wrestlers by this point, and we know he's going to have the striking advantage. But either way, man, this is going to be a super tough fight for McGregor. So that is a good question. Does he need a win in this fight? I don't know if he needs one, but it would definitely help, especially if he wants to fight McGregor versus Mayweather again. I think that's what it would take. If Conor McGregor could beat Khabib and get his belt back, because you also got to think about that. If he was coming in to fight Floyd Mayweather this time, he wouldn't even be a champion in the rematch because he's been stripped of his title since then. So, yeah, I think Conor McGregor would really need a win to really, make this fight happen specifically. But here's what Floyd Mayweather Sr. had to say. It sounded like him and Conor McGregor are going to fight, he told Helen Yee. That's what it sounds like. I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying the way things are sounded to me. It sounds like Floyd's going to fight again. And Conor McGregor, he wants to fight again, even though he don't want to fight again. but he'll fight us again just to show his people what he can do, which is nothing. This time here, I'm going to make sure that he gets stretched out all the way out of the game. I want to make sure he don't come back no more. Yo, that's the words that'll get you hyped for a rematch. This time, I'm going to stretch him out. I don't even want him to think about boxing after I'm done with him. I'm just saying that got me hyped when I first heard it. But also, this is the thing. Remember Conor McGregor just recently on social media in that post where he was telling Floyd, hey, there's no peace here. You know, pretty much rejecting his training offer. Like, fuck the Mayweathers, except for Senior and Roger. So he was letting Senior breathe, but it looks like Senior still, you know what I'm saying, coming after Conor a little bit. As he says, this time here, I'm going to make sure that he gets stretched out. So Conor was showing him a little respect. I don't think that's going to continue. Hell, we just saw him go after Khabib's father. So if Floyd's talking about stretching him out, I think that respect's going to be gone pretty soon. He says, I'm just saying, I think they're going to fight the same way. I think Conor McGregor wants the win back that he had, which is never coming back to him anyways. It's talked about, or it's being talked about, and it sounds like there's a lot of interest in it right now. And we have been talking about it recently just with the back and forth. McGregor firing back at Floyd. Floyd had his, you know, just from their little mini social media exchange, that is a good way to gauge if there's interest in a rematch, how much, you know, people are talking about the fight in the comments and yada yada and stuff like that. So if there's interest, if it's good business, I think the fight would happen. If people want to see it, why not? You're going to make a lot of money. Even, I don't think they would outsell their first fight. Of course, I don't think the rematch would do as good of business as the first fight, because in the first fight, we didn't really know what happened. This fight, we might look at, I don't know, because we still kind of looked at the first fight a little bit like a circus. Like, oh, man, Conor's got no chance. I don't think many people actually thought he was going to win the fight, but it was still a big event. So we were all like, hey, it was a good show. So, I mean, I still don't think the rematch would do as good of business as the first fight, because there's going to, of course, be some people that aren't into it, but I still think it'd do good business. I mean, even if they don't sell 2 million pay-per-views, what if they sell 1 million? That's still fucking good business. So maybe it happens. Who knows? We'll see. But Floyd Sr. is saying that's what it sounded like, and we have seen a recent back and forth. But with that, you know, being said, Conor McGregor can't really, of course, be too focused on Mayweather at this point, not even thinking about the negotiations. Maybe that's what Floyd Mayweather's talking about. Maybe he's in trouble with the tax man again. I don't know. Maybe he would be interested in coming out of retirement and fighting McGregor again. But right now, Conor McGregor can't really be worried about a boxing fight, especially coming up with this UFC 229 fight against Khabib. So that'll be interesting. But either way, Mystic full time. I'm going to fuck Khabib up, then go rematch Floyd Monday, Mayweather. Wouldn't that be crazy if it came to? Now, let's see what the full-time family's talking about before we get into our next topic. We're still got a little bit more to talk about McGregor. Actually, Devontae Bartholomew said, I'd rather see Paulie Conor. Yo, that'd be a fun one. Yeah, I mean, if Conor's going to go back to boxing, why not? I mean, a little step down. Paulie's definitely no Floyd. A little bit of a heat there. I mean, hey, let's watch Paulie Conor. I'm all the way in. I think that'd be a good fight, too. And like I was talking about a second ago, I think the second fight wouldn't do as good as the first fight anyway. So why not throw Paulie in there? And, you know, that's still an unknown. I think that'd be a fresh face, essentially, for McGregor in boxing. It wouldn't be the same thing. Like, oh, wait, can he beat Paulie? He did drop him in sparring. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be fun. We got 38 people, now 40 watching. When you guys are done biting your bagels, do your boy a favor, hit the thumbs up button. We will now continue off of Mayweather-McGregor 2. But Conor McGregor does have a message for those who doubt him, whether it's in boxing, whether it's in jiu-jitsu. He said, the grappling community say I can't grapple. The boxing community say I can't box. The kickboxing community say I can't kick. The wrestling community say I can't wrestle. I say to all those communities, let's fight. This is mixed martial arts. Of course, I ain't just specializing in one. Like, you know, I'm putting it all together, and we're going to see what happens. Can you deal with all of these when I put them together? Yeah, I'm probably not kickboxing perfect for a kicker. Yeah, I don't have the best wrestling, but I got that takedown defense, though. So, McGregor, yeah, I do it all. Of course, I don't, you know, do it perfect for everybody. Say what you want, say what you will, but he gets the job done. You count him out. We've counted him out. I think everybody at this point has at least counted McGregor out once, no matter what fight it was. Even if you got your shit together after the Mendez fight and said, all right, I'm not counting him out no more. You did at one point, and he's proved us all wrong. And now it seems like we're coming up on that point again, where he's got a very tough fucking matchup trying to get his belt back against Khabib, undefeated, never lost a round. No, I'm just kidding, but undefeated Khabib seems like a bad matchup with the grappling. Can Conor McGregor knock him out with the holes in his stand-up before Khabib gets a hold of him? Is Conor McGregor's jiu-jitsu improved enough to where he might fuck around and pull off some crazy-ass submission when he gets taken down? Because there's a very realistic possibility he gets taken down in this fight. Either way, Conor McGregor's been doubted in the past. He says, they all think they can do what I do until it's time to do what I do, Conor McGregor. And there's a lot of people recently, a lot of people that trash talkers, they've been, you know what I'm saying, getting humbled lately. That could be a theme coming into this fight. We saw even after Conor McGregor's teammate over in Bellator, James Gallagher, he got knocked out in the first round. Fucking James Vick most recently, same thing. Now, I don't think that's going to happen to McGregor as far as knocked out in the first round, but just because you can trash talk don't mean you're McGregor is all I'm saying. So with that being said, there's a lot of people counting McGregor out, but one person that's not is fellow lightweight contender Kevin Lee. He said Conor McGregor's probably going to sleep Khabib at UFC 229. This is what the Motown Phenom had to say. He said, I think Conor's probably going to sleep him. I'm just looking at the matchup and how the style is, especially with someone like Khabib. Khabib's got the same holes that I've been seeing for years and years and years. And I know Conor's seeing them too. So when you see those holes and they're not getting at least a little close, then he's going to get slept. Now, Kevin Lee, you might think he's just talking trash here. He actually has been calling out Khabib for quite some time now, even when the fight, didn't even make sense. Even whenever he was still on the come up and people were like, what, this dude's calling out Khabib? No one's calling out Khabib. And he's continued it. So that would go in line with him saying he sees holes in his game. Hell, we saw Jon Jones seeing holes in Cormier's game for years and years and years. That same tendency that he predicted 4 years ago. Yeah, when you duck, you get kicked in the head. Daniel Cormier, you're not going to kick me in my head, John. 4 years later, same tendency, same hole. Jon Jones capitalized on it. So, with the holes that us, just as fans that aren't fucking coaches and people that fight every single day, the best fighters in the world, just the holes that have been pointed out to us in Khabib stand-up recently, Kevin Lee's been seeing those for a while now, and so he feels like if I've seen them, someone else has seen them. McGregor's team has for sure probably seen them, and so he could probably sleep Khabib. And I think he was also in this interview on MMA Junkie, and Khabib pointed out a good point. He was talking about Khabib versus Iaquinta, and he was like, they were saying that Khabib didn't want to take Iaquinta down. Yes, he did. He just couldn't. And while they were saying it, they had the replay going. I think it was on one of those MMA World videos, and it showed Khabib like shooting for a takedown on Al, and Al getting out of the takedown. It was like, no, Khabib did try to shoot for that takedown, and he just wasn't able to at the end. When he was like a couple of those takedowns he shot for, he wasn't able to get. Because Iaquinta defended it, and so Khabib did go ahead and stand up with him and had some success. But Khabib, he doesn't get 100% of his takedowns, so maybe, just gives McGregor that much more of an opening to potentially capitalize on one of those holes people have saw in Khabib's game. He said Khabib misses a lot of shots too. Lee said if you just look at his film, his actual stand-up wrestling and transition game is trash. He said he gets mauled. He said, can Khabib Nurmagomedov's weakness be exploited against a striker of the highest caliber? That remains to be seen. Lee doesn't hesitate to describe what will happen if the champ is successful taking down McGregor. He's being realistic. Now, if he gets taken down, he gets mauled. I don't see him finishing, though. He says he's got to do that 5 times because I don't see him finishing him. He's just going to beat the hell out of him. So he might break Conor's spirit because Conor can be broken, but I think Conor might already kind of be expecting that. And when something like that happens and you expect it, I don't think it breaks you as easily. Man, if you're Conor McGregor, you got to, in this training camp, put yourself in those bad positions. Like, I know I'm going to be in this position. Might as well take my licks now so I can be prepared for the fight. But one of the things I also want to see if Conor McGregor utilizes is them elbows from the bottom. That's something that has been super successful. We saw for Tony Ferguson in his fight with Kevin Lee. We saw GSP in his fight with Bisping. And multiple people after that have added those to their repertoire as well. Not so much lately, though. Not so much lately. The last few months, it's like motherfuckers forgot. Y'all must have forgot. People better start throwing them elbows from the bottom. When you're on your back throwing them elbows, those actually did a lot of damage in a lot of those fights. So maybe McGregor can, work off of his back, but it's going to be tough if he gets put in that position. But yeah, so Kevin Lee, you know, he's saying that he thinks Conor McGregor probably sleeps Khabib, just looking at the stand-up holds. But of course, if the fight gets taken to the floor, expect a mauling. Now we're going to move on to the next topic, Darren Till, but let's see who's in the building. MMA Bud says, "Lo, I'm watching you forward in the building." Brendan Schaub's pink boots said, "Team Kevin Lee." Yo, chill. Who you got in Dylan Dennis versus Kevin Lee? Brendan Schaub's pink boots. I know you're looking forward to that. Ivan Hernandez feels like Khabib downgraded throughout his career. He used to be way more persistent and explosive. You think so, man? It maybe has something to do with some of the injuries over time. He has had some injuries. Gary Kindred Jr. says, "Remember when Ronda Rousey said, 'You're not going to kick me in my head, Holly Holm,' and then she did?" I remember when Daniel Cormier said that, or to Jon Jones. I didn't know Ronda Rousey actually said those exact words too. "You're not going to kick me in my head, Holly Holm," and then she actually did. That is pretty funny if she did too. Kevin Lee just being so jealous over Khabib. That's it, says student Bahar Muhammad Ahmed. Ooh, you think there might be a little jealousy? Maybe a little jealous he's not getting that title shot? You think that might be what it is? Or that he's getting the McGregor fight? Maybe you might have something, you know, you're on something there. Ford says, he's responding to MMA Buzz. Lorenzo T in the building said, "Boxing ain't no real fight. How you get knocked out to walk out looking like a million likes? Snoop, I think you sipping too much gin and juice. Don't get me started. Hashtag fire Snoop." Ford says, "Booger Bash 2018, Gorilla Smash 2018, Fight Week, War Till until the belt. Let's go. You the man full time. No, you the man, Ivan Hernandez, and the rest of you guys watching. We got 44 watching right now. Do your boy a favor when you get the chance, if you're up doing your thing, you know, you're just listening, you ain't on your phone. Hit thumbs up. Don't wait until you hear something that you like. Don't be that guy like, "Oh, I like that full time. Here's a thumbs up." Like, just hit that motherfucker. Support the grind. Hit the thumbs up. Do your boy a favor. But now let's move on though. Darren Till says, "I want to earn my stripes at middleweight before fighting for a title." And when I heard that, it made me rub my motherfucking hands together like, let's go. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck how many stripes he wants to earn. The one stripe I want to see Darren Till earn at middleweight before fighting for a title is Israel Adesanya. Till versus Adesanya. I want to see that more than Adesanya versus Costa. I'd love to see Adesanya versus Costa. They're both already at middleweight. But let's be real. Darren Till's probably a damn middleweight himself. He's had troubles making weight in the past at welterweight more than once. You know, the last one he gets a pass because the excuse he had of his girlfriend, pregnant girlfriend in the hospital. So he gets a pass for that one, but it's not the first time, and he's a big boy. So not only if he misses weight in this fight is he likely going to move up, but if he wins the belt, he could still move up in the future. He's only like 25, 26 years old. Darren Till is very young, and he's very big. So if he wins the belt, it's the era of the champs. Maybe he wins the belt and wants to fight once at middleweight before fighting for the title. I don't give a damn if he's the champion or not. I want to see Till versus Adesanya. If Darren Till beats Tyron Woodley, if he knocks him out or something at UFC 228 this weekend, move over Colby, move over Usman. Matter of fact, you guys fight each other while Darren Till fights Israel Adesanya. I'm sorry. Hey, you want to get your feet wet? You want to earn your stripes at middleweight? I'm just saying, Till versus Adesanya would be it would be an amazing fight. I don't even it's kind of like Wonder Boy versus Till. It's a great style matchup, great fight. We don't know if it's going to necessarily be the most exciting fight. I don't want to compare it to the Wonder Boy style because I don't think Israel Adesanya really has that counter-striking style as to where if you don't come at him, it's going to be a boring fight, kind of like you see with Wonder Boy. So Till versus Adesanya, they actually both have more aggressive striking styles than a Wonder Boy, more of his karate style. So actually, man, that would just be a great fight. I wouldn't even put the curse on it of saying, but it might not be super exciting. Yes, the fuck it is. Till versus Adesanya, make it happen. But as far as middleweight, this is what Till had to say. "Only a few more fights at welterweight and I'm done. Yo, this is a change of tunes. This must mean Darren Till's weight cut might not be going the greatest for him to be saying this." Now, I say that because recently, not too long ago, after he beat Wonder Boy, so maybe 4 months ago, 3 months ago even, he was talking about whenever he was admitting that he doesn't deserve a title shot, in that same interview, he was talking about, yeah, give Wonder Boy the title shot, even though that wouldn't have made sense either, of course, because he already fought for the title twice. But he was just saying, people don't think I beat Wonder Boy. I don't care. Give him the title shot. I'll fight a contender. I'm going to fight all of these guys when I'm the champion anyway. So With that being said, back then it kind of sounded like he was ready to become the champion and clear out the division, which means he would be staying at welterweight for a while. Now he's saying only a few more fights at welterweight, and it's like, huh? Whoa, why? Is it this weight cut? Is it hard? That could be a real issue. So that just raised a red flag for me, because he's talking about now only a few more at welterweight. What does that mean? You beat Woodley once, and then you fight like 1 or 2 more times, and then we're up to middleweight? And hey, that could be the case. But either way, win or lose, he could be going up to middleweight, because if he wins, he could be going up for some champ type shit. And if he loses, why keep making this weight cut? You already fought for the belt. Just move up. Just go up to middleweight. Just fight Adesanya. But no, he continued to say, I've said I want to go to middleweight. It's just I see a lot of guys, they're chasing money fights. They're winning titles and they're calling out the higher or lower category, and they're calling for that super fight. When I take that belt, I want to defend that belt. Then I want to go up to middleweight. That doesn't mean I want to go up and challenge the champion. I would like to earn my stripes in that division too. I feel like there's a lot of good guys in that division. There's one guy that I wouldn't like to fight, Yoel Romero. I'm glad he's gone up. He's a fucking beast. Interesting, because actually Romero isn't all the way up yet. He's actually potentially going to be fighting Paulo Costa soon. And that's Paulo Costa's the guy that wants all the smoke with Yoel Romero. He's calling him out. And now that Romero's injured, he's waiting on his ass. Like, all right, Romero, I'm gonna get that ass early 2019. Can't wait. And so with that being said, Darren Till's actually like, no, that's one guy I don't want to fuck with, Yoel. And that's interesting. That's actually a little interesting. Yoel's like 41 years old. It would be a tough matchup. He does have some great wrestling, which could be a bad matchup for a smaller middleweight, which Darren Till might be. But as far as Yoel Romero is concerned, at least Darren Till, he's not interested in that matchup. He said he's a fucking beast. And he has talked about moving up to 205 light heavyweight, so maybe Darren Till, that's the last thing he heard, he's moving up. But since then, Yoel has actually reconsidered. He's staying in middleweight, so be careful. You step up to middleweight, you might have to face that beast that you might not want to face. But at the same time, there's a lot of other guys like Adesanya that it would be great to see Darren Till fight up there. So, and he said even if he's the champion, he's willing to earn his stripes. So that's a fight we could see regardless. So that's dope. He said, I believe in life you have to earn your stripes. If I did go to middleweight in the UFC and they offered me a title, I'm not going to say no, but I'm saying I'd love to earn my stripes. Fight the top 5, top 10. For me, going up to middleweight, I'm not focusing on that belt because I know I'm the best. I know I'll win that belt as well. Uh-oh, deja vu. Remember he was saying that? I don't care if I get the title shot. Give it to Wonder Boy. You know, if the UFC gives me it, of course I'm going to take it, but I don't care if I get the next title shot. But the UFC is going to give it to you. But you know, Darren Till, where he stands, he's willing to earn his stripes. He wants to fight these guys, he's saying. But the UFC is like, we got other plans. Here's a title shot. And that could easily be the case at middleweight. You think the UFC wants to risk Darren Till losing a contender fight? If that happened, I mean, he could very well win a contender fight at middleweight. But if he beats Tyron Woodley, he's already a big boy. Everyone's already ready to see him fight the middleweight champion. I'm pretty sure the UFC books him. And then what if he wins? He could fucking be an undefeated champ. Like, not only are you risking some of the momentum of the fight if you don't immediately put him in a title fight, but you're also risking a zero if he just went up to fight like a fucking Paulo Costa or even an Adesanya, any of these guys. If you wanted him to fight one of those guys before fighting the champion, you're risking a zero. And then if he loses that fight, who even wants to see him fight for the title? So I think if Darren Till can knock out Tyron Woodley, regardless of whether he wants to earn his stripes or not, the UFC is going to put him in the title fight. They're going to offer it to him. And like you said, of course you got to say yes. He said, I just want to win this belt. I want to defend it. I want to be able to say that I've defended it. You could be looking at 2 or 3 fights at welterweight, and then that's me done. I'm 25. I'm not putting my body for this too much longer. I'm here today. I'm great. I've got my chef with me, and he's doing a fucking perfect job. I feel good. I just want to be able to eat some white rice. I'm just fucking hungry. That's what it is. As I'm getting older, I'm starting to see that it's a lot of weight to cut, and I don't need to do it. I started at welterweight. I'm going to finish at welterweight, and my ultimate goal is to be the welterweight champion. In 2 weeks, I could be making that a reality. After that, I want to defend, and then after, it's probably going to middleweight. And that's how I see my future playing out. So definitely champ aspirations, or even just middleweight dreams. So we'll see what happens there, but I don't think that's too crazy, too surprising, given the fact that he's such a big welterweight that's had weight issues. We have 40 people watching, 23 thumbs up, 17 bagels still out there. When you got a chance, do your boy a favor, hit the like button, the thumbs up button. It would be much appreciated. We got 3 people that they're going to be eating bagels all episode. Clearly, Mr. Perfect 2000 Fight says, yeah, Costa beats him too. Love tracks trash as usual. Got to be honest. Rest is fire. Love tracks trash. Oh, what are y'all talking about? Speaking of, Michigan Made. What do y'all think of the album? I know y'all ain't talking about Eminem. Oh, y'all are talking about MG motherfucking K. Thank you. I wanted to talk about that. Motherfuck, I never thought I would see the day MGK was laying Eminem to rest. Oh my God. I grew up the fucking biggest Eminem fan out there, so I did not want this day to come. Yesterday, I heard the MGK Eminem diss and I said, he just fucking killed him. This is supposed to be what Eminem is doing to other people. And MGK laid him out. I was like, no. And it's crazy because Eminem has to come back now. I'm telling you right fucking now. There's no way you let MGK finish it off like this. There's just no way. Now, fucking G-Eazy got at MGK, though, for the one time. He killed MGK, but it don't matter, man. MGK, as of right now, is looking like the Eminem Slayer. Like, that's crazy, dog. I'm glad y'all brought that up. Y'all fucking reminded me. I couldn't even believe that. We had to talk about that. What the... And Eminem came out, dropped a surprise album, no expectations, really, Honestly, I think that was the best move for Eminem because he got so much expectations lately. He tries to drop an album. Everyone already expects it to be trash. Oh, it's not going to be old Eminem. So he dropped the surprise album on us. Boom. Old school Eminem. Dissing people. Dissing Budden. Dissing academics. Dissing MGK. Dissing Drake low-key. Dissing all these people back to the old school. Eminem's even sounding good. I'm like, yo, at least he's sounding good again. At least I'm liking what I'm hearing. But damn, why did MGK have to come out and lay that shit out, dog? Why? Chill, that is crazy. I don't know why MGK had to do that. I'm not even a huge MGK fan, bro. Wild Boy used to go crazy at the party house, but I don't know. I ain't never listened to no full MGK album like that. Eminem just put MGK in a higher place. My boy was like, yo, I literally have to go listen to some MGK. What is this dude talking about? If he can do this to M, like, what have I been missing? Like, chill, that is crazy. Wicked, so they said M baited him too. Watch, I'm hoping so. M has to come back. He can't go away like Drake on no freestyle, the Adidon story, Adidon shit. You can't just let this ride. None of that. Fozzie Erie says, full-time sucker dick. We got a hater in the building. Clearly, you're one of those people biting on your bagel. Probably left the thumbs down. But you can eat a dick. We're in here talking about MGK fucking slaying Eminem. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Michigan Made said MGK gonna die after the response. Eminem better. That's what I was saying to my boys, man. Eminem better have some dirt. He better know some shit that's gonna shock us all about MGK. Like, there's always been the rumors about MGK, Puff Daddy. He better know that shit and say, hey, man, he better have some shit to reveal. You can't even just come back and bar him up because MGK got personal on you and really laid it out on you. So Eminem's not looking good right now. Here to smash the like button right now, Coach Shelton Harrison. There never be no comparison. You're live on the show. Sit back and have a listen. You guys, Coach Shelton Harrison interviewed Chris Cyborg yesterday. Huge moment for all independent channels. I know a lot of you guys are even starting some of your own channels, man. Coach got an interview with the reigning, defending featherweight champion Chris Cyborg. Make sure you check that out. Congratulations to the coach, and good to see you in the live chat. 40 people watching. Do your boy a favor, hit thumbs up. Holy smokes, I'm still, man, that MGK thing. I know some of you might not even know what I'm talking about. Everyone knows who Eminem is, at least. Just know, man, he dropped a surprise album. He was even dissing people like old school Eminem. He was sounding good, but he might have dissed the wrong person because MGK dropped the whole response track, and it was like, whoa, damn, MGK. You just don't usually Eminem. And y'all gotta forgive me. I grew up an Eminem fan. I used to, get the album, read the motherfucking lyric books. Like while I was listening to the song, I would be reading the lyrics and trying to recite them. And then when I would fuck up, I would rewind it to the part I fucked up. I just never thought this day would be here. Never envisioned in my 20 fucking 8 years, 27 years of life, Eminem would be on the receiving end of a diss like this where he's just getting played for a fool. But it is what it is. Lorenzo T said, fire Snoop, please. CSH Combat Sports says, thanks for putting the word out. Hey, no problem, Coach. I definitely support your channel. So anytime I heard that, I was like, yo, that's super dope. And I know it was huge. So I definitely wanted to, let all of anyone that was hearing that video, let them know to be there live. The live, if you can show up live, the better. So, yeah, man, great interview, Coach. Michigan Made said, y'all forgot about what happened every single time he beefs with someone. But you're forgetting that was 10 years ago. We ain't really seen Eminem beefing any time recently. And honestly, if you don't got something personal, like we all know about Eminem, and so whenever MGK started like using his own songs and lines, like, and just it's crazy, man. It's gonna be tough. I'm hoping though. I got my fingers crossed with you guys. Eminem's gotta have a response. I hope he was baiting all of them motherfuckers because MGK seems like the one. And like I said, I didn't even fuck with MGK like that. Like I'm a wow boy. That shit is hard. He's got a dope ass song that we all know, but who the fuck is that guy really to just be laying Eminem down like that? Best rap ever, Mr. Full Time says Fire Snoop. We'll play Fire Snoop at the end of the show. How about that? I was gonna play McGregor versus Khabib. I mean, or in the middle of the show, we might do like a break or something. It is kind of like a live MMA radio show type deal. We might just do a song, for the people that might be listening to this at work. Who knows? That'd be a dope little break. I know how it is. I'll probably be at work tomorrow if I can freaking find a shift. $2 in the super chat said Mr. Perfect. Holy smokes! Thank you very much for the $2 in the super chat. He held no water though. Way too much credit. Hey. Motherfucking good song. I know there's Eminem diehard stan specifically. Your name is Michigan Made, so I know there's a little stan in your blood, but I'm just saying there's a little stan in my blood as well, and I'm still like, MGK, why'd you do my boy like that? Remember Yellow Wolf? What happened, man? Rappers been getting recycled. Yellow Wolf was dope, rich. We got to make a full-time music channel. Let's continue talking about the MMA, though. Robert Whittaker scoffing at Kelvin Gastelum's claims that he's been in too many wars. He's been in recent wars, especially with Yoel Romero, but this is almost a case of Justin Gaethje. They're like, oh, Justin Gaethje's been in too many wars because we've seen him in 3 in a row. They forgot that before Justin Gaethje fought Michael Johnson, he was undefeated in the World Series of Fighting. It's not like he was fucking standing and banging with Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez every single fight in his 18-0 leading up to that point. So yeah, we saw him in a few wars, Justin Gaethje, but that doesn't mean he's fucking, you know what I'm saying, already senile and shit. That doesn't mean he's already got CTE. It's a prisoner of the moment thing. It's just what have you saw lately. That's the same thing with Robert Whittaker. I mean, before he fought Yoel Romero, he knocked Jacare out. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that was a huge war leading up to the title shot. He definitely had those 2 wars with Romero, though. But as far as too many wars, I don't think that's the case. We'll see, though. I mean, it could be. Now, this is the thing I'll say. I don't know if it's the wars. It's the injuries. It's not even just the fights that his injuries have been coming from. He had that bad staph infection and shit at one point. Not only that, he's had injuries. He has had injuries in his fights. Both of his fights, actually, he got injured. But that's what I think is taking a toll on Whittaker more so, if anything. I don't think it's, like, taking too much damage, like, fucking CTE type deal. I think, if anything, it's just the injuries he's been sustaining. But either way, Robert Whittaker scoffed at that. He said, I'd like to think that I'm one of the few guys that hasn't been in a lot of wars. He said, I haven't been hit that much. My last couple of fights have been pretty hard. But look at the opponents and the caliber I'm going up against. I think he's telling himself that to make him feel better. And then you continue to say, because there are some bad guys out there that couldn't put me away, that couldn't touch me, and I walked through them. So what am I going to do? Walk up to him and say, what were you saying about me? Asked if he was going to, like, confront him on tough. To be honest, on the show, in regards to that, me and him, we stayed on each other, but we were very civil. He was very respectful to me, and after that, I showed that back to him. You show respect to me, I give respect to you. It wasn't fun being around an opponent that whole amount of time, especially when you're going to fight him eventually, but it is what it is. So they might have wrapped up the new coaching season of Tough, or the new season of Tough. Season 29, season 28. It's going to be men's heavyweights, female fucking 140-pounders, I guess, because they're really bantamweights, but they're signed at featherweight. So we'll just put them right in the middle. Female featherweights on the show. Coaches, of course, going to be Robert Whittaker and Kelvin Gastelum. I see Forward says, you don't question the Grim Reaper for how many lives he's taken. Gastelum, your time's coming. Hey, Bobby Knuckles, the Reaper, he ain't fucking around, man. Full time, do you watch The Ultimate Fighter? I watched some early seasons. I definitely watched the Garbrandt Dillashaw season. I watched the first half of the Stipe Cormier season, but I haven't watched them all lately. Like, I didn't catch the second half of the most recent one. This one I might watch. It depends on what's all on at that time. If I'm working, I don't know. I don't really watch them all the time, though, for sure. I don't. Gary Kendrick Jr. says his eggs are not scrambled yet. Meanwhile, Diego Sanchez has a fight coming up this weekend. He's already got another one he's trying to book for after that. He wants Cerrone after this. I watched The Lazy-Eyed Brother, said MMA addict. Student Bahar Muhammad said, I watched recently the first episode of Tough Team Whittaker vs. Gastelum. Oh, is it already out? I didn't know it was out. I didn't know that was out already. Might have to download that and try and watch it at work if I finish early or something. Lindro Tita said, did hear Woodley rap on Champ. I have not heard, on Champ Camp. No, I haven't heard Woodley rap yet, man. Someone told me I have to check out his mixtape. Moderate you, Fozzie. Oh, is Fozzie getting hit with the stench of the wrench? Where's he at? Do I gotta take him out? You banned me from speaking. No one banned you from speaking. You got timed out for one. Are your videos chatting shit about people that don't like when you get it back? For one, I don't chat shit about people. I respond to people. For two, you didn't get banned. You got timed out. For three, I didn't say you could not get banned. If you come over here spam advertising a different channel, you're not talking MMA, you might fucking smell the stench of the wrench. A moderator might crack you in your shit, dog. It is what it is. But I mean, if you're not over here being productive, hey, it is what it is, man. You might feel the stench of the wrench. But someone said, please listen to Woodley rap. Yo, I don't want to get my shit copyright. He probably don't have it. It probably wouldn't just listening to it. Do you have it timestamped? If you have a timestamp, I'll go to the video and I'll pull it up. But I don't want to have to search through the whole video and shit and potentially get copyright strike because my other two channels already did. So if you get a copyright strike, you can't live stream for 3 months. So I got to be careful with that. Dude's entertaining as fuck too. I think Maurice Green will be winning the heavyweight. Okay, I'm gonna have to check out that first episode if it's out for sure. Full time doing a Woodley rap reaction video. I dig it. Yeah, I'll have to check that out, man. I have to do a remix to one of Woodley's songs. But moving on real quick though, Shirtless GSP continues to trim down as rumors of move to lightweight stir. A lot of people think, what's the biggest fight in UFC history? McGregor versus Khabib. But what happens when you parlay that into the fucking winner of that fight, who has the title, versus George St. Pierre for his third belt, making history, first fight at lightweight, versus McGregor or Khabib at the third weight class? Holy shit, that's the new biggest fight of all time. The question is, can GSP make lightweight? Well, he's been looking pretty slim in some of his newer pictures, and here's another one. I mean, his most recent fight was at middleweight. He had the colitis. Now he's healthy, shrinking down, and he's looking like he might be trying to make that lightweight cut maybe sometime in the future. Just seeing if he can before, I wouldn't be surprised if he was seeing if he could, if GSP did like a test weight cut, like right now even. If I'm GSP's team, anything like that, I'm telling you the smartest shit to do right now. While Khabib and McGregor are fighting, a test weight cut. See if you can make it one time. Just do it in the meantime, in between time. And if GSP hits 155, the fucking fight is on. And he's been looking skinnier, so I wouldn't honestly be surprised if he was doing a test weight cut. That's what he should be doing right now. GSP looking lean. 155 is looming, says Forward. That's what I'm saying. Moment of silence for Poirier, Diaz, and El Kakui. They ain't seeing that undisputed belt for a minute, says Forward. That's what I'm saying, man. That's why. And see, they got the time, though, because Ferguson, they got their own little lightweight contender tournament going on. Because Khabib and Conor are fighting. Winner of that fight might take some time off, or the winner of that fight might fight GSP. But you got those four guys. You got Pettis versus Ferguson, Poirier versus Diaz. The winner of those fights, let's say Ferguson wins and Poirier wins. Then they scrap. Maybe they fight on the same card as like McGregor GSP or Khabib GSP. if GSP actually makes the cut to lightweight. Maybe they could fight on the same card, and then we got our actual #1 contender. You know, there's a lot of shit that could happen at lightweight. Shit's cracking. It's one of the most stacked divisions. You got all those guys up there that could easily be fighting for a title. As far as Ferguson, Poirier, and if Pettis beats Ferguson, he's up there. If Nate Diaz beats Poirier, of course, he's immediately in the mix. For one, he's already could fight McGregor at any time, and so if he beats Poirier, one of the top contenders, he could for sure fight for the title. So, that being said, GSP said recovery time in the Russian spot in Brooklyn, hanging out with the motherfucking Russians. He's Team Russia and shit. GSP, you know, he's hanging out in a Russian spa, and yo, I just see like the carryover. He's already, you know what I'm saying? He's Team, I don't want to say Team Khabib because he's actually talked about fighting Khabib, but I'm just saying he's hanging out in the Russian spa ahead of McGregor versus Khabib. So, I mean, that means something. I think that might mean something, whatever it means. Moving on, though, Donald Cerrone staying at lightweight. Donald Cerrone, actually welterweight. He wants to go to lightweight. Donald Cerrone recounting his harrowing, near fatal cave diving experience. He talked about this a little on the Joe Rogan Experience. Let me see what the full-time family is saying about GSP before we actually move on, though. But yeah, just looking at this shit looks crazy, though. If you just look at that picture, like, that's the type of shit Donald Cerrone would dive in. Like, restriction. Like, don't go in this fucking hole deep in the water. Like, this is a terrible spot to go. Fuck it. I'm in. Like, like, crazy motherfucker. I'm never going in that. I'm telling you right now, me, if I see restriction, death, X and skull and bones, red restriction sign through my motherfucking goggles, I'm already too far. I don't even want to be far enough to where I can see that sign. You know what I'm saying? That's just not where I'm comfortable. I want to be. Give me a floaty. Fuck it. I want the arm. I would rather have arm floaties on in the water than fuck it swim anywhere near that damn sign. That's all I'm saying. But before responding to Lorenzo, McGregor versus Woodley, says Lorenzo T. I mean, McGregor, you know, he's stared him down backstage, but I don't think McGregor wants that fight. And this is the thing about that. You know, Woodley's not the biggest draw per se, but neither was Eddie Alvarez. The reason he fought Eddie Alvarez was to make history and go for that second title. So you could still make history and go for the third belt if you wanted to, really. You know Woodley would take the fight, but McGregor might have other options. You know what I'm saying? So he might not choose Woodley. He you know, there's probably bigger fights, and there's probably higher reward, lower risk fights. I'll say that. Gary King Jr. says, so Lorenzo, if GSP's running from Woodley and Darren Till wins, who do you think he wants to fight? Who do you think wants to fight that? Do you think he wants to fight that behemoth? So you're saying if Darren Till wins, do you think GSP would fight Darren Till? There's a potential, and you're saying that he's saying that GSP is running from Woodley. I don't know if GSP is running from Woodley. I just think that that's a high risk. It's still a high reward. It's just not the highest reward. And it's also a high risk. Fighting at lightweight is more of a win-win. If you lose, you can, you know, for one, the weight cut, I've never did it before. It was a tough weight cut. Sorry, you know, I tried to make history. Sorry, guys. And if you win, you fucking ching, you make history, third title. So that's more of a win-win. You actually have something to lose if you fight Woodley. As of right now, if you ask the 36 people watching this chat, who is the greatest welterweight of all time, I will say 8 out of 10 people will say GSP. Woodley doesn't get that respect yet. And with that being said, GSP is already known as the greatest welterweight of all time. More people believe it. Popular opinion says George St. Pierre is the GOAT at welterweight. And with that being said, if he fights Tyron Woodley and loses, that's not the case anymore. If he loses to Woodley, Woodley's officially the greatest welterweight of all time. So he doesn't even have to chance that. If he just doesn't fight Woodley, he gets the nod. It's not like people are saying, oh, who is it? Who's the best? I gotta know. GSP or Woodley. A lot more people just say GSP, so he kind of already won the fight in that sense. Now, if you are somebody like me, I would love to see that fight because I don't know who would win today. I would love to see that fight, but I kind of see how that's not the smartest option for GSP because it's not the highest reward, lowest risk. It's actually highest risk and a lower reward. It's a higher risk and it's a lower reward. So that's just not usually what people do at the top. Smash the like button, says Gary Kendrick Jr. do the full-time family a favor. If you're finished biting your bagels, you got to be finished now unless you got them like a motherfucking bagel Big Mac or some crazy shit. I mean, how many bagels you biting on? Do your boy a favor. Hit the thumbs up button. It would be much appreciated. Now let's talk about crazy-ass Donald Cowboy Cerrone, who's got his hands full. Not just with his next potential fucking fatal near-death experience that he likes to fucking experiment with, whether he's fucking skydiving or cave diving, deep water cave diving. I don't even want to go in a fucking cave that's above the ground. I don't even want to, if there's a bat in that motherfucker, I'm not trying to go in there. Like, you know, a swarm of bats. I'm not trying to go in one of them caves where there's no fucking light at all and shit. I'm not trying to go in one of those. You're going to tell me you're going to go super deep in, I don't even know if I want to go on a fucking submarine. I don't even know if I would get in the submarine and go deep, just in case, pause, and just in case that motherfucker cracks and water starts coming in and now I'm drowning and shit. I don't even know if I trust a cruise ship. All right, you guys get the point. So, deep water plus a cave. What the fuck? Cowboy Cerrone's crazy, dog. That's all I'm saying. And shit almost went bad. Shit almost went bad. And that is exactly why. It's not just because I don't want to get wet or nothing like that. It's because shit can go south, and that would be probably one of the worst ways to die in my mind. Fucking in an underwater fucking cave where no one expected it. You're just sucking in water and dying. Like, no, it don't sound fun to me. But Cowboy Cerrone said, today, I can honestly say I'm happy to be alive. We had a catastrophic worst-case scenario on our dive. Total silt out. Lost the cave line and lost my buddy. Couldn't see my own hands. Was the most scariest moment to this day of my life. I remember kissing Danger and Lindsay and saying, I'll see y'all soon. Don't worry, Daddy's coming home. Told the Grim Reaper, not today, motherfucker. I'm figuring this the fuck out and coming home. Now, he said that on the Joe Rogan podcast as well. Like, they lost his homie. Like, I don't know if his homie found his way out, too, or if that motherfucker's dead. But I don't think he's dead, or there'd probably be, like, some RIPs. But he was saying he lost his, at least down there, he lost sight of his homie, so he didn't know what the fuck was going on. Terrible situation, deep down, in a cave, crazy motherfucker. And so, yeah, man, Donald Cerrone almost died and shit. And what happened last time? He was riding on a fucking horse and shooting guns, or he had some alleged injury before one of his fights because he was, like, riding horses. He's doing crazy shit. And honestly, that's dangerous for your upcoming fights. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I think it might have been the Robbie Lawler fight he was coming into, and there was rumors that he might have got injured horseback riding, doing some crazy shit, falling off a horse, doing a movie stunt, something, possibly, but he was still down to fight, you know, because it's Cowboy. Of course, he's always going to be down to fight, but you're putting, I don't know how much stress you're putting on your body, but shit, you're kind of putting your body under stress and before your fight even gets there, so you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure it's not too much. I'm sure training can't put your body under stress too, but it's like, just in other sporting leagues and shit, NFL, NBA, shit like that, I know they don't necessarily like their fighters outside of training camp and, you know, the actual regular season. They don't like them going and doing crazy shit like riding bulls and shit that can injure them outside of, because you can get injured while you're in the sport. You can get injured during training. You can get injured in the game. So why the fuck are we going to risk another risk of you getting injured because you want to go, you know, ride a fucking bull this weekend? Like, then if you get injured, you can't play, or you can't, in this case, you can't fight. So a lot of the other leagues, I think, put a cap on what you can do. Like, yo, outside of training, we don't want you riding bulls and shit. Not if you want paid, because you are risking our business. Shit, you know what I'm saying? And that's a different case because the people run the team, and so that's kind of, you know, hurting their brand or their chances of winning. It's hurting their business if a fighter gets injured. Fighters are kind of on their own, so I don't think there's really anything you can say to Donald Cerrone to get him to stop doing this shit, because this is the shit that he lives for. But I don't know how it's going to help your fights, but hey, it's going to help you fucking, he's living his best life. Donald Cerrone ain't fucking around, man. But yeah, we almost lost Donald Cerrone. Wouldn't that be crazy, dog? Could you imagine that? That headline, UFC star Donald Cowboy Cerrone passes away fucking cave diving, Like, and I don't even want to put that into the fucking ethos, but that is almost what happened here, according to what Donald Cerrone is saying. It was worst case scenario, catastrophic. If he wasn't able to figure that shit out, we would have been seeing that headline. Just could you imagine that shit? Oh my God, I don't even want to think about that. That's crazy. Like, but that almost fucking happened. That headline. That's fucking crazy, dog. Forward says, man, if I was the UFC's creative team, I would be raking in that cheddar. Joseph Reardon says, well, if you consider two companies, they're getting screwed. We got Exist BMX in here says, Woodley's going to beat Till because he has the power of a bubble butt. Chill. Pause. Forward says, low-key, the UFC needs to dinner and date reality show. Get two personalities and let them go to dinner and shoot the shit. Imagine Tony and Cowboy or Stylebender and Till. You mean just like them with two random chicks, or do you mean like with fighters? I forget who it was that brought up this idea, but they said, could you imagine if the UFC did like a dating reality show and they got like Cody Garbrandt and Joanna Jacek, and they went on a double date with TJ Dillashaw and Rose Namajunas? You know what I'm saying? Awkward. That would be crazy. But no, if it was like a reality show and it was a dinner date, yeah, I hope there's not no drinks involved. Shit could get crazy, you know, if they ever stepped in. Because, you know, usually on them shows, after they get something to eat, they might step out to a nightclub or go somewhere else where, you know, the date continues. And, man, could you imagine sending two fucking... And, of course, they're in the UFC. They can control themselves. But two fighters, double dates to a bar or a restaurant every weekend, who knows what the fuck could happen. You know what I'm saying? Turn into it'd be a reality show for real. But yeah, man, I don't know. That'd be interesting, like a UFC eliminate. This should totally be a thing. That's what I'm saying. That would be crazy if the Rose and TJ one. It's on the same magnitude as Evan Tanner, who was title holder going back and forth with Matt Hughes back in the days. A lot of people were too young to remember that. Joseph Reardon said Till will knock him out big. We got some Booger Bash 2018 going on. Platinum Perry says, now that's fucked up. Yeah, man, let's continue, though. We got a little more to talk about. A few more things, probably quite a few. Mike Perry, speaking of Donald Cowboy Cerrone, revealing the details of his sparring session with Donald Cowboy Cerrone. And, yo, motherfucking Mike Perry dropped a bomb, and I didn't even know what he was saying at first, but it's to Donald Cerrone's fears. I seen this on Instagram, actually, even before I heard Donald Cerrone on the Joe Rogan Experience. Mike Perry was like, yeah, I was training today or something over at Jackson Wink. I've been working on a mean kick to the body or a mean kick to the liver, some shit like that. And that's what I was talking about in one of Donald Cerrone's fears of him training with AT&T. We saw Robbie Lawler's camp when they were screaming, boy, I ain't got no liver. Well, if anybody's going to figure out that tendency of Donald Cerrone, and he said there's some things that I don't want people to know. If I would be terrified if my opponents knew this. They could have something, you know, I'm just saying there's weaknesses or tendencies or shit that Donald Cerrone can do now that Mike Perry's training with his former team that they can tell him that's going to help Mike Perry 100% in this fight. And so now that I think about it, oh, that's what Mike Perry was talking about when he said he was working on a mean-ass liver kick or body kick. Oh, damn. Now once you think like, oh, he's training with them, that could have potentially be who told Mike Perry, unless you just watched the Robbie Lawler fight, of course. But either way, it would be fucked up if Winklejohn or you know, was like, yo, Mike Perry, boy, ain't got no liver. You know, if you're his coach and you told that shit, like an injury, or like, you know how Raquel Pennington or other fighters, they might have had a recent leg injury. Like, could you imagine if Donald Cerrone had like a fucking leg injury that no one really knew about, and Winklejohn was like, yo, that fucking left leg is shot. Blast that motherfucker. I'm telling you, dog, he always fucks up on him in practice. That type of shit that's not a good look for Cerrone coming into this fight. On top of that, he doesn't do his best when he's pissed off. So not only does Mike Perry have... everything is stacked up for Mike Perry to win this fight. It's almost like a Cowboy sabotage because he's going to be pissed off going against his former team. He's already pissed off the way things are going. And now they're going to be able to tell him Cerrone's weaknesses. So here's Mike Perry recounting how it went down, though. He said, so I go to the BMF ranch. This would be the second time we sparred. He said, we didn't even spar because he's so easy for me to punch in the face that I didn't punch him in the face like that. I was throwing jabs. I was able to just touch him with the end of my glove. And I was like, man, I'm not going to open up on him here in his house, on his ranch, with all his people around. He said, but I want to get this work. I want to get this aggressive energy out of me, so I started shooting takedowns. I'm not that good at wrestling, just defensive wrestling more so. And we went for 23 minutes straight. There wasn't a lot of punches involved. I started shooting in takedowns to get that energy going and get that sweat and actually try hard. So I started shooting takedowns, and he kind of reversed me. I got up once or twice, and then the last 10 minutes of that round, he was on top of me. I was trying to pull some sweeps or subs, but he's a slick grappler too. I wasn't able to get him off of me in the last 10 minutes. He's laying on me at 23 minutes, and he kind of looks at me, and I just tapped him on the shoulder like, all right, get off me. So essentially, he said he had his way. He felt like he could have had his way with him standing up. And, of course, in the BMF ranch, you could imagine that. You don't want to be the new guy coming to the BMF ranch and accidentally, for one, whoop his own ass in his house. That's one thing. But for two, could you imagine Mike Perry, a knockout artist, like if he was like actually sparring hard and fuck around and got a KO in sparring? And it happens. Sometimes people get knocked out in practice and training. What the fuck? You don't want to be that guy that knocks out Cerrone in the BMF ranch when you're training and shit. So he said, you know what? I'm just going to work on my wrestling. That's a good time for Perry to work on his wrestling. Maybe a smaller guy, a smaller welterweight, try and take him down a few times. But Cerrone's got great jiu-jitsu. That's why I've said this whole time, Cerrone's the more well-rounded fighter. Given everything, like just looking at these fighters, if there was no drama going into this at all, I might pick Cerrone to win the fight. For one, because he's more well-rounded. If you think Donald Cerrone can't beat a knockout artist, you're fucking crazy. We've seen a couple people have success against Mike Perry. They put together smart game plans and they didn't get knocked the fuck out and they won a decision. Cerrone could easily do that to Mike Perry if he doesn't get his emotions into this fight, but that's going to be hard. And if the fight goes to the mat, Cerrone has the advantage. Not just could he potentially outstrike Mike Perry and stay on the edge and just not get in range to get knocked out. Not only could he potentially outstrike Mike Perry, he could also outgrapple Mike Perry. But if he comes in this fight pissed off because he's staring at his former fucking coaches across from him, Jackson and Wink, if they're both now at this pace, they could both be in Perry's corner. Jackson offered to help Cerrone, but he's like, what the fuck? I'm not going to have you coming to my house to train me and then going back to Jackson Wink. Like, how the fuck can I trust that? So he might not be training with Jackson or Wink coming into this fight, so that might piss him off, and it doesn't take much. If you zig when you should have zagged against Mike Perry, lights out. Lights fucking out. And on top of that, Mike Perry getting that extra cowboy knowledge from Jackson Wink, that also puts the fight a little more in his favor. So that really makes this fight that much better. The fact that Cerrone could win, either one of them could win. If there wasn't this whole Jackson Wink shit going on, I might give the edge to Cowboy. But now, specifically, not only is the whole drama going on that probably is going to piss Cowboy off, but also he's being trained by his coaches. So either way, they did have a training session, a sparring session before shit went south and really hit the fan. And Mike Perry's detailing. And he said, I wanted to take it easy on him in the stand-up, so I started trying to grapple with him, and he got the better of me on the grappling. It is what it is. We'll see what happens in the actual fight, though. They got time to prepare. It's happening at UFC Denver. UFC's 25th anniversary card, though. So Joseph Virden says, very strange. Who wins, family? I know it's going to be a crazy fight, crazy talk. Anyone at lightweight is an underdog versus GSP, especially those outside of the elite. GSP was/is an all-time great, says Forward. Now, anyone at lightweight coming up to welterweight, I would say, is an underdog. But I don't know about we don't know about GSP at lightweight. That makes shit a little more interesting. But everything you're saying is still on point. Ivan Hernandez says, I think Cerrone wins a decision, but Mike can finish him early in the first or second. Yeah, if it goes to a decision, I could see that happening. Cerrone winning the decision, or a submission. Cerrone could has more paths to victory in this fight. He could win the decision. He could get a submission. He could knock fucking Mike Perry out. Mike Perry, he might win a decision, but he definitely can win by knockout. But you definitely don't see Mike Perry submitting Cowboy. So Cowboy actually does have more paths to victory to actually win that fight if it takes place. So it's going to be a great fight. Jon Jones This is one of the things, I recently broke down that Jon Jones Russian interview he did where he spoke with the Russian media. He talked about he predicted Cormier versus Lesnar. He talked about him fighting Cormier at heavyweight. He talked about Khabib versus McGregor. One of the other things he talked about was Sonnen versus Fedor, because that's actually another matchup coming up, but under the Bellator banner. But you got a trash talker taking on a more humble Russian fucking killer, it seems like, damn near. Stone face, just seems like they're ready to fuck shit up. Could be even Fedor. But Jon Jones gave his thoughts on Sonnen, his trash talk, like compared to McGregor, and this is what he had to say. He said, I think Chael Sonnen is the worst trash talker. He said, just because a lot of the stuff he says is gibberish. Conor McGregor, when he talks trash, there's a lot of truth behind what he's saying. And honestly, that does make it sting more. If someone's just like, oh, shut up, you fucking bum, like, and you're not a bum, or oh, you broke bitch and you're not broke, like, no one really cares. But whenever you start actually saying personal shit about somebody and it will affect them, that's a very efficient. It's a very effective form of trash talk, and that's what Conor McGregor does. A lot of the shit he says, it sounds good, but it's also a hint of truth to it. And so Jon Jones comparing the trash talk, he's saying Chael Sonnen's the worst, and McGregor, it's different. Chael Sonnen, he's not going to let that go by. Chael Sonnen responded in typical Chael Sonnen fashion. He unloaded on Jon Jones. You know what I'm saying? Chael Sonnen's the type of motherfucker show up at the press conference with the poem. Fucking Fedor is weak. Chael is sweet. Fedor say hi. Chael's telling you bye. Like, just some stupid, off-the-wall, one-liner type shit. That's what Chael will hit you with. And boy, did he hit Jon Jones. He said, Jon, heard your critique. Forgot you were in the business, even as a spectator. No, that's not it. It gets better. Jon, you trash talk about as well as you exchange insurance info after traffic accidents. It's getting better. See, it's getting better. That was a good one. Joe gets better. He says, Jon, I treasure you. As long as you're around, I look like a clean overachiever. He continues, Jones' career, one big side effect. Chael continues, you spend more time on the shelf than a library book. Ya bum. He's not done. Chael, he's got some shit. Turn your cell phone off. USADA has GPS tracking. Yo, chill. He said, Jon Jones, your career took a bump in the road, and then you tried to snort it. He's got one more, I think. Oh, two more. Jon Jones, I heard you're not allowed at your brother's football games because you tried to snort all the lines off the field. All right. One more. Jon Jones had the same game plan in and outside of the octagon. Hit and run. that was the icing on the cake. Chael Sonnen responded to Jon Jones' typical Chael fashion. I'm the worst trash talker. Well, here, motherfucker. Here's a big dish. Wow. Just hit him up on Twitter. Pretty funny, but yeah, you thought Chael, the motherfucking gangster from Westland, Oregon, was gonna let that slide? You got Chael figgity fucked up. But let's continue having a little fun. Of course, Jon Jones, we're looking forward to his return. Chael Sonnen going to be fighting Fedor. I don't know the exact Bellator number, but I think it's on the 29th of this month, if I'm not mistaken. We got time before that. Javier Mendez, Daniel Cormier's coach, he's explaining how he's reduced AKA fighter injuries by 50% by not fighting. No, I'm just kidding. But AKA, of course, Daniel, Luke Rockhold, he hasn't been there recently. Cain Velasquez, he's over in the WWE Performance Institute. Luke Rockhold's back now, though. And it's not just those four, but you think about the four horsemen when you think about AKA. Daniel Cormier, Khabib, Luke Rockhold, and of course, Cain Velasquez. And AKA used to stand for annihilate knees always because they could not fucking go without their fighters getting injured, like repeatedly from AKA. Hasn't been happening as of late, though, and Javier Mendez believes he knows why. He said, it's just the nature of the sport. There's a lot of injuries involved in this sport. It's not something that we've mastered yet, but I tell you what, it's something that we have gotten better at. This is still a relatively new sport, and we're learning. I was still trying to figure out, how do we save us from getting injured all the damn time? Why are we getting injured? It's nuts. Well, little simple things, Jason. from having the guys talk to me when they don't want to spar. They have issues with their girlfriend or their family, they didn't get enough sleep or they have a little injury. I want them to point it out to me. I want them to tell me what's going on. So this way I'll say, okay, you're just boxing today. Or, okay, you're not sparring today. Let me tell you something. Our injury rate has dropped almost 50%. So it seems like just guys carrying in their outside bullshit into the gym. If your girlfriend's tripping today, don't come in sparring. If you're anything, not even just your girl's tripping, anything going on, you got something on your mind, you're stressed out, we can't have you sparring because you're not here at 100%. You're not all the way mindful. You're going to fuck around and zig when you should have zagged, and it's going to get bad. And just having, fighters not spar hard, it seems, when they might have something else on their mind is helping that a lot. Instead, you know what? Just go fuck up that punching bag and pretend it's your ex. Or, no, don't pretend it's your ex. Pretend it's your girl's ex if that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Gotta be careful. Don't pretend it's your ex, but pretend it's whoever you're mad at. If you're pissed off because this motherfucker just called you out on Twitter, whatever reason you're stressed, man, you get the point. AKA is reducing the injuries over there, and it's just by having fighters be more mindful of when they're ready to go hard. You know what I'm saying? He said, let me give you another example. Blagoy Ivanov, he came to me. I took him on to start training, being his head coach for the Junior Dos Santos fight. So I said, what is it you need to do? I need you running 5 or 6 days a week. He said, what? Why? I said, I need you to do it hard, 6 days a week. He goes, okay, coach. So next thing you know, 2 weeks into the whole thing, the poor guy rips his meniscus running on the street. He ripped his meniscus in 2 spots. How's he going now he's going into the fight with Junior Dos Santos with a torn meniscus in 2 spots. Now guess what? All you can really do is box. So I had told him to cancel the fight, call the UFC, cancel the fight. So he already scheduled a surgery. He was canceling the fight, but over the weekend, he just felt like, nope, I'm going to fight. And that's what fighters do. They fight injured. He's not the only example. There's tons of examples that go out there. So just catering it, and I forget who it was. Oh, Cowboy and the whole Jackson Wink thing. I think he said Winklejohn has like the same pad combination for every single fighter. He's not really catering it to each fighter. Like, okay, you need to work on this. You probably shouldn't be doing this. He said it's the same fucking pad combination for each fighter. Ha ha ha. Everybody, the exact same shit. And now it seems like Javier Mendez is maybe going to, make it unique. Like he was talking about Blagoy Ivanov. He was like, why do I got to run 6 days a week? And he still had him do it, tore his fucking meniscus. Maybe Blagoy Ivanov, if he's not used to running 6 days a week, needs to just go into things a little bit slower. How about we start at 4 days a week? And then we move it up. That way we don't start just putting our body through something that's not used to and tearing our meniscus going into a fight. So, it's still a good thing, though. AKA's injuries down 50%. Not near as many injuries, and they used to be pretty infamous for that. So, moving on, we got another fight added to UFC Denver. That's where Perry versus Cerrone's happening. And this is actually a fight between 2 prospects, Ricardo Ramos and Ricky Simon, going down at UFC Denver. This is a fun fight. Ricardo Ramos, I think, is now 4-0 in the UFC. Ricky Simon, he was supposed to be fighting recently against Benito Lopez. Benito Lopez got pulled out of the fight, so he ended up fighting Montel Jordan or Montel Jackson. Montel Jackson on short notice, and he won that fight. Now he's going to be taking on Ricardo Ramos. So that's going to be actually a fun fight. I actually like that fight. That's why I brought it up. There's 2 prospects, though. Both of them young, up-and-comers. See who wins, man. Ricky Simon has great wrestling. Ricardo Ramos has some great striking. But I think he also has some submissions as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, fun fight there. Jared Brooks stepping in for Ryan Benoit. We got UFC 228 coming up this weekend. And Ryan Benoit was going to be taking on Roberto Sanchez. Ryan Benoit's injured, so now Jared, the Monkey God Brooks, is stepping up. Jared Brooks has some great wrestling. I believe he's actually the one that has that split decision loss to Davison Figueiredo, which, I felt like Jared Brooks won that fight. He was slamming him around, but Davison Figueiredo remained undefeated that night in Brazil. Jared Brooks stepping up on short notice. He could win this fight. He's a tough fighter. Also, he's got great wrestling, so wrestlers on short notice, at least you got that wrestling to rely on. But the thing is, Roberto Sanchez has 8 wins, and he's won 7 of them by submission. So he could very well, you come in relying on your wrestling against Roberto Sanchez, you better protect your neck. So going to be a fun fight, a good replacement, though, Jared Brooks stepping up. Hey, full time, says Clayton Funky. What's going on, brother? Fozzy is Erie still in here. No hater, you little sick virgin. Damn, this motherfucker's still going. We've been chatting now for about an hour and 8 minutes. This motherfucker's been getting timed out 300 seconds at a time, and he's still in this joint. Hey, it is what it is, man. He's persistent. Gotta put some respect on his name. Why the hat, G? Honestly, because, dog, why not? This is the full-time hat. This is where I get all my mystic predictions from, man. There's something hiding in here. Can't show you. No. Stephanie, she says, y'all smell that? The stench of the wrench. I smell that. I smell the stench of the wrench. He definitely smelling it too. Yo, should I ban him next time if he don't fix up? You can. I mean, has he said anything about MMA? I ain't even been paying attention. I've been doing the show. He's been in here just trolling, just talking shit. I mean, you can, but if he's not talking any MMA, I mean, hey, it's on you. I'll let you be the judge. I honestly don't give a fuck what he's saying, but it is what it is. I mean, he's definitely feeling that wrench, so I ain't mad at that either. It is what it is, man. We got one more fight to talk about, though. Obviously, the show's going to be over sooner rather than later. We got some Bellator to talk about. We're going to look at the UFC 228 card, and then probably play a couple of songs to get out of here. Motherfucking Fire Snoop and McGregor versus Khabib, because that shit's turning into reality. I'm going to fuck Khabib up, then go rematch Floyd Mayweather, specifically with Floyd Sr. coming out today talking about, the fight is at least in the works. And when I say in the works, I don't mean like people are putting it together. I'm saying they're starting to talk about it. He's at least got knowledge of the Mayweather camp, and he's saying at least from what he's hearing in the Mayweather camp, it sounded like Floyd's going to fight again, and it sounded like they want to fight McGregor. So, hey. And also, he said if they do fight again, he's going to make sure Conor gets stretched out. I don't know why that makes me more excited for the fight, because, all right, this time we ain't fucking around. Ain't no more song and dance. This is the last fight. Let's show you what's really going on. And that sucks as a McGregor fan, because you got to wonder, damn, did Mayweather kind of carry him to the 10th round? Like, is he going to stretch him out? Or is motherfucking McGregor going to come through in the 10 ounces and lay him down with the left? I remember there was something about, like, the horsehair compared to the other haired gloves. I remember there was something going on in that fight. McGregor got screwed over. They were trying to sabotage him at every turn. Yeah, the motherfucking Showtime Weasels cutting off his mic, and fucking he couldn't get the horsehair gloves when he needed the fucking other gloves. I mean, I'm just saying, we was couple tweaks, a couple notches here and there. Cardio just getting better and better the whole time. I mean, Conor McGregor might stand a chance in the rematch. I'm just saying. So you gotta give respect where it's due. Clayton Funky says, did Chandler re-sign with Bellator? He did. He did re-sign with Bellator last week. Last week, I believe. Yeah, he re-signed with Bellator last week, which means now, tick, 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 tick. We're just waiting on Eddie Alvarez. I would not be surprised if Bellator threw big money at Eddie Alvarez, because Eddie Alvarez gambled with his contract and lost in the UFC. He had a contract. He only had one fight left, and going into his fight with Dustin Poirier, honestly, he didn't even, at first he wasn't going to gamble. Honestly, at first, literally, Eddie Alvarez was like, no, I'm not even fighting nobody until I get a new contract. Fuck that. And then he reconsidered, like, you know what, maybe I should bet on myself, or whatever reason. He reconsidered, went into the fight as with one fight left, and lost. And so then Dana White came out and was like, yo, I completely understand. If Eddie Alvarez wants to, go out there and find the best offer for the last fight and what's likely to be the last contract of his fighting career, I don't blame him. If he doesn't like what we got, hey, it is what it is. He can test it. So he kind of showed his openness to, like, if Eddie Alvarez doesn't want to take what we're offering him, then he can walk. I'm going to tell you right fucking now, Eddie Alvarez would be a bigger pickup for Bellator than any of the names they've got so far. Rory McDonald, Gegard Mousasi, all of them. And I'm talking about right now specifically. Why? Just because, for one, he was the UFC champion. For two, he fought Conor McGregor in the biggest night of UFC history, Madison Square Garden. He lost that fight, but he still got that tie. For three, the Michael Chandler fucking trilogy fight we all want to see, Eddie Alvarez versus Michael Chandler 3, that would be huge. So Bellator, I would not be surprised if they for sure were willing to not only match, but overpay Eddie Alvarez, whatever the UFC was going to pay him. Because they've been opening up the pocketbooks lately. They've been paying these guys. So with that being said, I could very well see them picking up Eddie Alvarez once he actually becomes a free agent. Scott Coker's already said, of course, if once he there's usually a period, right? There's usually a time frame. After you become a free agent, there's still like 3 to 6 months where either Bellator or the UFC can negotiate with you before you can talk with the other guys. So the UFC still might have 3 to 6 months to talk to Eddie Alvarez and try and re-sign him before he can even entertain Bellator. But if those months pass and the UFC don't give Eddie Alvarez what he wants, then I would not be surprised if Bellator snatches him up quick. I mean, that would be huge for Bellator. Forward says, I'm a freak. I literally remember every UFC trash talking quote. Wish I could remember my exam notes that easy. That's funny. Israel, you dong, motherfuckers. Bellator is in the zone. Fozzie Fire says, you liar. Not bothered what I say, but you just timed me out. Pack Lying One only asked, why you wearing a winter hat? I literally have never timed you out. So there you are, just talking out of your ass. You don't even know what you're talking about. And honestly, if you want, man, you can call into the show. I mean, if you got Skype or fucking Google Hangouts, we can just discuss this. I'm trying to do a show right now. I'm not reading a fucking troll's quotes. And you've been getting the stench of the wrench. I'm not the only one that can time you out. The motherfucking full-time family, the motherfucking wrench crew got them motherfuckers ready to crack you and scramble your eggs anytime you step out of line. That's what's been happening. I haven't timed you out once, playboy. Now, with that being said, why are you wearing a winter hat in your bedroom? It's because it's part of the motherfucking show, dog. It's part of the motherfucking show. If you've been around for a while, you might know. And if not, is it fucking... You act like a fucking... Everyone that wears a fucking snapback, you know what I'm saying, ain't going out somewhere. Like, it don't matter what the fuck you're wearing. I could be on here with a leprechaun hat. This is a show. This is entertainment. You know what entertainment is, dog? It makes you stand out. I mean, I could explain it to you if you just don't got the wherewithal to understand why an entertainer might do some entertaining shit. I could just lay it out for you like that, or I could really go in deep for you. Like, listen, for one, maybe whenever somebody new comes to the show, they're gonna, hey, have you seen that MMA channel? You know, like the cool ass one, you know, with the songs. Yeah, the dude's got the hat. Oh, the dude with the hat. Oh, I know that motherfucker. That dude's hilarious. You know, it makes you stand out. I mean, I could really lay it out for you if I needed to. And then on top of that, you thought I timed you out. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, Fozzie. That's why I don't mind if you're here. I don't give a damn if they time you out, if they ban you, because all you're doing, honestly, is, I mean, taken away from the show that I was doing. But now we're coming to the end of the show. I got one more topic to talk about. We're going to look at UFC 228. I got time, motherfucker. So it is what it is. I'll respond to that and point out how you don't know anything that you're talking about. But yeah, man, you said I wanted to see if you had good day points, but you look like Boxing Ego. I've heard of Boxing Ego. I'm even not a boxing fan. I don't know what the fuck's going on with boxing. Bruh, I'm literally in tears, family. This motherfucker's chill. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. Boom, Stamina MC, perfect. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. And I've explained enough. Chill. Russian Boss said this is more entertaining. And see, I could do this, but I don't like doing this because sometimes when you just let these people know how much they're not thinking or how far behind they are, you know, to the full-time family. Like, why'd you time me out? Well, for one, I didn't time you out, jackass. Oh, why do you have a hat on? Many reasons. But once you explain it to them, you know what they do? They turn into that guy that makes 6 different accounts, and they start thumbs down all of your videos because you laid into them one time, like their fucking father never did. So you lay into these guys one time, they enjoy the attention, they're like, oh my god, I can get some attention from full-time MMA. My mom and my dad never cared about me, at least he's giving me attention. And then they want that attention, they start craving it, they turn into Stewie 2.0 or Oscar 2.0, they make 10 accounts, they flag your shit, your GoFundMes get put up, they start flagging those down. We've had 2 GoFundMes flagged, and they were shadow banned probably because some fucking trolls are, you know, reporting our videos. So that's why I'm not on you like that. Like, I could, any one of the things you've said, like, I could respond to, but we got a show to do here. You ain't shit, dog. It is what it is, man. Now we probably just extended our fucking shadow ban for 3 more months because he's going to start reporting all of our fucking videos on some weird-ass shit. So, it is what it is, though. What's a Fozzie? By the way, what the fuck is a Fozzie? Thank you. Please, what the fuck is a Fozzie? Corey McVilly says, what's up, full-time? Exist BMX says it's hard for the top 15 lightweights. The top is the cream, of fighters. Yeah, lightweight is definitely one of the most stacked divisions for sure. But yeah, man, Brent Primus, the current UFC or the current Bellator lightweight champion, telling Michael Chandler to sign the contract. Please, Michael Chandler, now that we're re-signed, sign this contract. Let's get this shit over with, because this whole Michael Chandler Brent Primus saga is almost played out. Because this Brent Primus dude, I don't know much about him. He beat Michael Chandler, or did he? Weird ass fight. Michael Chandler's leg was hurt in the beginning of the fight. Didn't even get to see the fight. And ever since then, I ain't seen this Brent Primus dude since then. Not once. Michael Chandler's literally fought like 2 contenders in the meantime, like Goiti Yamauchi and another motherfucker waiting on Brent Primus. And Michael Chandler's the one that got injured in the fight, and he's fought twice since then. Meanwhile, Brent Primus, the fucking lightweight champ, whenever it comes time to fight Michael Chandler, there's always a fucking misunderstanding. Oh, something's going on. So Michael Chandler's just getting in there like, listen, what's going on, dude? I'm not going to keep fucking waiting. I'm ready to fight you. Fucking, I'm fighting this contender. Fucking, I'm fighting this contender. Now I'm a free agent. You ready to fight yet? And now Brent Primus seems like he's ready. I hope he is, because literally since he won that belt from Michael Chandler, he has not defended it once to my knowledge. Maybe once, but I just don't think he has. We haven't saw Brent Primus fight since, that's got to be over a year ago, since he fucking beat Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler healed up from his injury and fought twice since then. So, I don't know what the fuck's going on with Brent Primus, but it looks like he's ready. He says, Michael Chandler, sign the contract, bitch. Sick of waiting. You can fight Eddie Alvarez or whoever after I'm done with you. We'll see what happens. Now, Eddie Alvarez, there's a lot of talks about him potentially going to Bellator. I talked about why it would be a huge signing for Bellator. And, I mean, I already said, both Michael Chandler and Eddie Alvarez were free agents damn near at the same time. I said, it don't matter if it's fucking Golden Boy MMA. Oscar De La Hoya can sign those 2 guys and we're all watching. That is a matchup that the entire MMA world will be watching, regardless of the promotion. If the UFC signed Michael Chandler and re-signed Eddie Alvarez, we all can't wait. If Bellator re-signs Michael Chandler and then they pick up Eddie Alvarez, we all can't wait. If Oscar De La Hoya picks up Eddie Alvarez and Michael Chandler, puts them on the same card as Tito Ortiz versus Chuck Liddell 3, we are all watching. Facts. And so with that being said, Bellator already has one piece to that puzzle when they picked up Michael Chandler. Now we're just waiting to see what goes on with Eddie Alvarez. And honestly, man, and this would be a fucking huge mistake for the UFC. A huge mistake for the UFC if they let Eddie Alvarez go. But it seems like lately the UFC's been making mistake after mistake, and that's just from a fan perspective. I wouldn't have fucking let Gegard go. There's a lot of Rory McDonald. There's a lot of these guys. The UFC used to not be cool with competition at all. Like, they used to try to do whatever they could to squash their competition. They would have probably bought fucking Bellator back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Just so they can't take these big fights. But lately, it's like the UFC is starting to be under the model of they're not as dependent on their stars. They feel like, their biggest stars are really where it's at, the Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, the Jon Jones. And other than that, people, are expendable. So they're not going to overpay a person that might feel like they're a star or they feel like they're worth a whole lot of money. And let's say Eddie Alvarez, if he wants too much money, or any of these guys, if they feel like they're worth more than the UFC does, UFC might let them walk. And if they do, Bellator's right there to motherfucking pay them. And boy, if they let Eddie Alvarez, who not only has a fight with Conor McGregor, but is a piece of the puzzle to the Michael Chandler fight, go to Bellator, they are making a fucking huge mistake, in my opinion. But it is what it is. I mean, we got new owners at the UFC. Maybe, they do have to save money, even though, they make a lot of these decisions, and it's like, oh, look, the UFC has to pay back this loan. That's why they're making these cuts and all of this shit, because they got this loan they have to pay back. But then they get, this new ESPN deal, and now they're, worth $7 billion total. Of course, after the 5 years, that's, but it seems like they're doing decent, and it don't seem like the UFC's going to, fucking crumble to the loan or anything like that. And so it's just interesting if they decide to let, more and more of these guys go. I mean, it is what it is, though. I'm sure Bellator's not going to complain. Hell, they've got arguably the best welterweight on the planet, arguably the best middleweight on the planet. I don't know if Eddie Alvarez you would consider the greatest lightweight on the planet, but he's definitely fucking one of them. And also, specifically when you put him with Michael Chandler, that's a huge fight we all want to fucking see. So, looks like Brent Primus is ready. Maybe in the meantime, in between time, while Bellator figures out whether or not they can sign Eddie Alvarez, we can actually see Michael Chandler versus Brent Primus, and Michael Chandler fight for that title back that he lost kind of fluky anyway. He fucking lost it. His leg gave out on him in the very beginning of the first round before much. I mean, maybe, so we didn't really get to see much of that fight anyway. And he even dropped Brent Primus on one leg, if I remember correctly. The fight was, quite some time ago, but it's definitely a fight I can't wait to eventually see again. Should have already happened, but both of these guys blame each other. Brent Primus would be like, "No, I was ready to fight, but then he wasn't. So yeah, now I'm taking some time off." And if that was the case, maybe Brent Primus would have fought someone else by then. All right, I can't fight Michael Chandler right now. Well, I'm still ready to fight. Give me this guy. Michael Chandler's been doing that. He's been, talking with his actions. He ain't just been saying, "I want to fight Brent Primus," and sitting out. I want to fight Brent Primus, but if this motherfucker ain't ready, I'll fight him instead, and then I'll fight him. I'm not just waiting on Brent Primus. And Brent Primus, he ain't really been active, so I'm fucking Team Chandler. Fuck you talking about? Let's go. I want to see that fight for sure. Brent Primus versus Michael Chandler. Let's see what's going on in the chat before we talk about UFC 228 and close the show. Forward says, post-first round finish. I'm disappointed in the fight. I didn't fly across the world for a 1-minute fight. I'm here for a good scrap against the best fighters in the world. Dan Hooker. Damn, still here. He's depressed, I guess. I didn't even know he was still here. See, I get to doing the show, and he'll be in here fucking, these shows be talking to themselves and shit. It's an attention thing, I really think. But let's see what Fozzy had to say in them while he tries to tell us what the fuck a Fozzy even is. He said, "What is a high and experience? Wonder what that is. What a fucking channel. What is a high and what a fucking channel?" Well, you're here, Fozzy. You've clearly been entertained. You've been entertaining yourself for over a fucking hour on this channel. Why would you be here if it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? If there was nothing here, you should be moved on. There is literally thousands of MMA channels, high and low, all the way from 50 subscribers to 100,000. And you just so happen to be here, man. Appreciate you being on the show. That actually means a lot. You could be anywhere in the world right now, Fozzy, and you chose to be here rocking with the full-time family. So you're actually showing me with your actions more than your words that you love the show. Because if you're like, "Man, what a channel. He just said something. He fucked up. He's doing a live show. He's not reading a fucking teleprompter. He's doing all of this live. A lot of it's coming off of the memory. So he stumbled one time. What a fucking channel. Oh, God, you stumbled once. What a fucking... You've been here for an hour and a half. And you ain't even been able to chat for a lot of the time because you got hit with the wrench how many times? Timed out. 300 seconds. You're back. Oh, hi, guys. Bow. 300 seconds. Hey, I was just... Bow. 300 seconds. And you still chill. You can't talk for 300 seconds, and this channel is so shitty, but you still, while you can't chat, you sit around just waiting to get hit with the wrench again because you're so fucking entertained. Funny how you're interested in what I have to say. I'm the best thing that happened to you tonight. You're welcome. No, you're actually not, man. I just, the show's pretty much over. So, I mean, we feed the trolls a little bit sometime, and see, that's what happens. That's what happens. You call a troll out. You flame them up a little bit. You point out that they're living on a wood bed. Shout out to El Chapo. You point out some shit like that. You let them know that what you're saying don't make no sense. What you're saying just sounded crazy. You need some attention. You point some shit like that out about them. And they're like, "Oh, why'd you even respond to me? Motherfucker, you've been in here crying for attention for the last hour and a half. And now you're like, oh, you're lucky I even said something." If you don't get the fuck out of here. I want to know this, Fozzy. For one, what the fuck is the Fozzy? For two, who you got winning out of Woodley versus Till? That's what I want to know. Look at this card, family. We got a hell of a weekend coming up. September the 8th, UFC 228. Darren Till, Tyron Woodley. What the fuck is going on? I can't wait for this card. Booger Bash 2018, Gorilla Smash 2018. I know my boy Forward thinks Woodley's getting smoked. Second round KO TKO. But not quite yet. I think that's a little too soon, Junior. Tyron Woodley, the chosen one, the champion. I mean, he made a good point. I was listening to his lunch scrum that they do, the UFC 228 media scrum he did earlier today, actually, and he was talking about, you're like 37 years old. What do you think that means? And he's like, "Oh, you're trying to put the fucking age curse on me." And he asked him this question: Who's the fastest welterweight in the division? Who's the most explosive welterweight in the division? Yeah, 37-year-old Tyron Woodley. You got a point. So that's one of the things I'm saying too. Like, yeah, age does affect you if you're one of the people that's not, you're not being active and you're not training as hard as you used to. But if you're somebody that's still in there grinding day in, day out, putting in the work, that age might not affect you as soon. Now, I do think Tyron Woodley's time is coming. Will it be this weekend? I don't know. It's gonna come though. Whether it's this fight, might be against Kobe, and if not Kobe, it might be against Kamaru. I'm just saying it. Nobody's gonna be the champion forever. The time will come, but will it be this weekend? I don't fucking know, man. I don't know if Till has proven enough to me for me to pick him against the proven champion Tyron Woodley. He's a big dude. He's bringing in a new style. He's a heavy hitter. He's undefeated. He's bringing a lot of potential threats. I mean, but we're talking about the champion here. The champion here. What the fuck you talking about? Hold that L, Mr. Fawzi. That's what I'm saying. I don't even know what L he's holding, but he's holding them. L after L. L after L. I would slap the hat off your head. Bell me anytime, snicker. I don't even know what that second shit was. Wasn't even English. Wasn't even English, dog. And you wouldn't slap the hat off of my motherfucking head. That's facts. Because I got a motherfucking strap, motherfucker. And as soon as I saw you coming, I'm snapping that bitch together. And then guess what? When it snapped, you can't slap it off my head, motherfucker. I got a little fucking, yeah, bitch. Fuck you, Todd Matt. I got a fucking slap-proof strap. Yeah, now, eat a dick. And hold that motherfucking L. You just got, bow, smacked with the wrench. Smell the stench of the wrench. I don't even think Till is making weight, says Russian Bot. He might not. But either way, Tyron Woodley's beat people that have missed weight in the past. A lot of people forget this, and I think it's because it makes Tyron Woodley look good, and people don't like that. No, I mean, it's just, he's not a fan favorite. Maybe there are for some, but one of the things that always gets brushed under the rug and doesn't get brought up enough, people will talk about, his last 3 fights were boring and shit like that. Like they immediately stop at the Robbie Lawler fight, right? They don't want to bring that one in. Usually, so whenever people are hating, you don't hear this a lot. But Kelvin Gastelum missed weight by 10 pounds. Woodley still beat him and gave him his fucking money back. Who does that? 10 pounds? That's some shit you almost take personal. Like, if you miss weight by 10 pounds, that makes me want to fight you at the fucking weigh-ins. You know what I'm saying? Like, did this motherfucker just miss weight by 10 pounds? Like, that's disrespectful. You didn't even try to cut weight. What the fuck is happening? Or did you put on weight for this fight? Like, and then he gave him his money back after. Like, that's super impressive. So that just lets you know, though, Woodley is willing to fight a guy that's overweight. It's not about that. And so that's why, even if Till misses weight, he's still going to have a fight on his hands. You know what I'm saying? We still have a fight, even if Till doesn't make weight. Floyd says, Till is making weight. Everyone chill. Yo, he very well could. It's the biggest fight. If he doesn't make weight in this fight, then I don't even ever want to see him at welterweight again. Even ever. But yeah, Till doesn't need to make weight to fight just to be eligible to win the belt. Exactly, Stabber MC. If he misses weight, he can still fight. He just can't win the belt. Regardless, he's making weight, looks lighter than ever before training at the UFC PI, and that's good. I'm sure the UFC, at the PI especially, they got the nutritionists, they got the trainers, they got everything you need, you know what I'm saying, to make a hot nigga pie, and Darren Till's been there, and he's looking lean like GSP lately. I hope he does make weight. He's got to. I mean, come the fuck on. You're getting a title shot. Your whole camp should be, even if it's somewhat short notice, and maybe you want 8 weeks, you only got 6. Well, I'll tell you what, for these 6 weeks, all I want to fucking see is making weight. You know what I'm saying? You got the skills you got leading up to this point. We got to make weight for this fight. That's really all I hope he's focused on, and it should be. Especially with all the critics, you know what I'm saying? He's had people talking about whether or not he's going to make weight ever since this fight was announced. And the day that this fight was announced, people were like, what? He didn't even make weight. What is he going to make weight? So the day this fight was announced, he had the pressure on him to make weight. So I really think he would. But yeah, other than that, though, of course, we got Montano versus Shevchenko. I mean, that's going to be a fight. I mean, we talked about this on the panel. Nico Montano might be, and this is, I'm not even trying to talk shit on Nico Montano. I'm just talking about literally facts. Facts. Somebody please tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. Nico Montano might be the weakest UFC champion ever. I'm talking about interim everything, because a lot of the guys that get the interim strap, at least they beat the top contenders to get to that belt. Nico Montano, for sure, probably the least experienced UFC champion. Fucking, it's not like she's got a knockout artist. I don't think she has any wins in her career by submission. Maybe on the Tough Show that didn't count. But, boy. And then just looking at the champions past. I mean, people brought up Matt Serra. Well, he came off the Tough Show and knocked out GSP. He still knocked out GSP and came off that Tough Show. That Matt Serra also went on to beat top guys before and after that. He's had beat some top guys. Now, in this division, the flyweight division is newer. So, I mean, that's just a legit observation. She might be. You know what I'm saying? And she's taking on arguably one of the best, if not the pound-for-pound best female fighter on the planet. So, this might be a fucking squash match, boys and girls. This could very well be a finish for Valentina. It could. Just to continue, just before we get off, because I don't want to pile on Nico. She's got this fight coming up. She's got her hands full. People are piling on Nico, but we're just being realists. She's probably gonna get her ass whooped. And I also say that because I forget the other point I was just gonna bring up. There's 10 million reasons, but you get the point. Her pro fights. She's got 7 pro fights right here, and some people say 6 if you go to Shirtless. But what I was going to say is Priscilla Cachoeira, she was 8-0 coming into her fight with Valentina. She even had a better record than the current champion, and we saw what happened to Priscilla Cachoeira. Mario Yamasaki still ain't got his job back from that beating. So that could very well happen in this fight. Either a prolonged beating or a motherfucking, Valentina looked like Khabib in her fight. They were calling her Valentina Nurmagomedov after she fought Priscilla. She could come in here and look like Valentina Nurmagomedov. She could come in here and get the finish. Honestly, if she keeps this fight standing, there's no way for her to lose. I mean, and Nico's not going to knock her out. What's she going to do? Like a counter? Was she going to counter Valentina? Like, she's not going to outstrike Valentina. Her best chance might be a submissions chance, and that's only if Valentina takes her to the ground. Because it's not like Nico Montano has some Tatiana Suarez wrestling that people are asleep on, where she's going to be able to just hold Valentina down and take her down. So, just all sorts of bad news for Nico Montano in this fight. But it's time. It is time. The bullet is in town. It's time for her to take her crown in this division, become the queen of flyweight where she should have been. The UFC didn't have the division, and afterward, we'll see what happens with Nico from there. This is just a terrible fight, a terrible position to find yourself in, going against Valentina. But after this fight, we will really see where Nico belongs. Because honestly, you look at Sarge Eubanks, you look at Alexis Davis, you look at Caitlin Chukagian, you look at fucking Jessica Ai. You look at a lot of these girls in the flyweight division, and they might be the favorite against Nico Montano, who's the current champion. So if she loses this belt, like she's very likely going to, a lot of people think she will, then we'll see, okay, can you beat Sarge Eubanks? Can you beat even one of those other girls? I mean, the girls that used to fight at 135 or 115 that are now moving to this division, I think they're better than a lot of the girls that came off the Tough House, the Roxanne Modafferi's and some of these other girls. So this division is new, but it's weird because it's like mixed up. Like let me go to the rankings real fast. It's mixed up with girls from the Tough House and the girls that have been fighting in the UFC, been waiting on this weight class, and now they're ready to fight at their natural weight class. And with that being said, they're going to look good at this weight class. Like Jessica Ai, she's undefeated right now at 125 pounds. And it's funny, I was watching one of the coaches' live streams in the chat while I was at work the other day, and there was a dude in there fucking literally saying that he thinks Jessica Ai is going to, he said of course he believes that she could beat Nico, but he believes Jessica Ai would wipe the floor with Valentina at 125. This motherfucker is clearly crazy, trolling something. But Jessica Ai is undefeated at 125 on her way up. She was like on a 4-fight losing streak at bantamweight, but now she's in her natural weight class undefeated. So she's a girl. I wonder how she would do against some of these girls that came off the show. Now, Sarge Eubanks is a girl that came off the show, but actually she won the show but missed weight in the actual fight, so she didn't get the title fight. So now she's still at the top of the rankings, but really you got these other people taking over. Valentina, Caitlin Chukagian, she's a monster. Roxanne Modafferi, she fought for the title whenever Sarge missed weight. She's got more experience than a lot of the girls that came off the show, but she's still taking some damage. And, you know, she lost pretty handedly to Sarge Eubanks actually on the show. So I don't know if, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Roxanne Modafferi is going to be really one of the top contenders when things shake out. You know, whenever the Jessica Eyes get moved up and the Liz Carmouche, another very strong flyweight, you're gonna, you know, be a problem for some of those tough girls. But yeah, man, once Nico loses, we'll say once, then we'll see where she, you know, really shakes out in the top 15 of the division. I mean, Nico Montano versus Paige Van Zandt. That's a fight that I would like to see. That's a closer fight. You know what I'm saying? That'd be a fun fight. Bada Jr. in here. What is fucking Fozzy back in it? Okay. Who do you think that will win, Conor or Khabib? I'm going with Khabib as of right now, man. But, I mean, I haven't seen a lot from Conor. All I know is what I know right now. Khabib, not a great matchup for Conor McGregor. He's been more active than Conor McGregor as far as MMA is concerned. I mean, he's got a great fucking team. If you're talking about who's got the better training camp, you would give that edge to Khabib. Khabib's got a lot of shit on his side. The style matchup, the training camp. But McGregor is... He's been counted out how many times and he fucking wins. People thought that before. Oh, Eddie Alvarez, he's got the better camp. He's got the better team. He's more well-rounded. He's the bigger fighter. He's going to beat Conor. What happened? There's been this case so many times where you count Conor out and he comes out and knocks someone the fuck out and we're all like, oh my God, why the fuck? He did it again. So yeah, Fozzy, there's an answer to your question. I'm giving Khabib the edge right now, but I don't know, maybe I see something from McGregor leading up to the fight that makes me change my mind because I am a big McGregor fanboy, and I don't like picking against him, but it's hard. Is Nico the biggest underdog in champion history in the UFC of sports? I can't remember a time where the champ was this much of an underdog. Yeah, where the champion is this much of it very well could be the biggest underdog champion in UFC history. I think that's very safe to say. Can't think of any other time. Yeah, this has to be. It has to be. Forward says, Woodley talking about how he needs to pressure Till to be the aggressor and get underneath him. Very interesting indeed. Yeah, also, man, I was watching, who was it? The Rory McDonald fight? I think it was like some highlights or something on Reddit when I was scrolling through. And they showed how he was like confusing Woodley and he was pressuring Woodley against the fence. And like there was one time where he was just like confusing him with his hands and shit. But he was pressuring Woodley against the fence. And he actually went on to win that fight. So even though Woodley does want you to pressure him against the fence because he likes to be able to shoot for a takedown or explode and knock you out, people have also had success doing that. So, I mean, what a fight we got coming up at UFC 228. Fozzy says, thank you, Full-Time MMA. Appreciate you responding to me. Oh, yeah, no problem, brother. Pablo Platinum Escobar says, everything in me is saying Conor is going to catch him coming in, but I still got Khabib. Yo, I don't even know what it is. Like, for one, that could happen, but I've been getting a weird-ass inkling, a weird-ass feeling that McGregor might submit Khabib. I don't even know why. I don't even think McGregor has any wins by submission. But he has been training his jiu-jitsu, of course. And, of course, he's got Dylan Dennis. Like, you got to be learning a lot from that guy. No, but seriously, I don't know why. And part of the reason is usually this sport is so fucking unpredictable. Whenever a fight is over, it happens the way you least expect it. Like, we all expect Khabib to either maul Conor or Conor to knock Khabib out. And that's probably not going to happen. Either one of those fucking scenarios is probably not going to happen. It's probably going to be Khabib fucking knocks McGregor out. Or McGregor fuck around and submits Khabib from the bottom. Some crazy shit's going to happen, bro. I cannot fucking wait for this fight. Any prediction, it doesn't matter who's predicting who. Nobody knows, man. Nobody fucking knows. You can be as confident in Khabib's grappling and Khabib as you want. There's no way the biggest Khabib fan in the world is confident he's just going to beat McGregor. There's no way. After what you've seen, how many times he's been counted out. Even if you do pick Khabib, you're not confident. And that's the problem I'm facing. I'm kind of leaning toward Khabib, but I feel like I'm setting myself up to be wrong. But hey, sometimes you're wrong. But hey, I might be wrong. Mystic Full-Time is having a hard time picking that one. We'll see what happens though closer to the fight. Bada Bing says for show Israel 8. Charismatic Lemon says Nico is hot, but sadly won't have her face rearranged. Yeah, hopefully she can, Valentina will let her keep her face intact after this fight. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully she takes it easy on the face. Joseph Reardon says the real champ is back. Looks like he has a big Irish balls getting in there with Khabib. Sleeps him in one. Whoo! Joseph Reardon ain't fucking around. Forward says the biggest ones I can remember are Sarah versus GSP2. Yeah, Sarah versus GSP2. Sarah was the champion, so that was a big one. But even then, I don't think, those weren't close to Nico. Yeah. Israel A says, book it, brother Badr Jr. Student Bahar Muhammad Ahmed says, impossible. Khabib Nurmagomedov gets submitted by the Irish. Yeah, that's something nobody expects, and that's exactly why it fucking happens. No. But yeah, no, I don't think that's going to happen, but it would just be so crazy. I just think that would be so fucking crazy. Fozzie is eerie. I'm from England, and banter jokes is a male thing. Sorry, you're a cool dude. I was being a prick, trolling 100%, but it's all love. Have fun, brother. Hey, it's all good, Fozzie. That's what I said. Like, that's why I don't really get bothered by trolls. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them are cool people eventually, but at the same time, could have fucked around and got blocked, and we would have never knew that. No, but I'm just fucking around, Fozzie. It's good to see you on the winning side now, man. Badr Jr., he don't let that shit go, though. Badr Jr. don't let that shit go. Badr Jr., don't let that shit go. Your name is now on a list. Badr Jr., my motherfucking dog. Yo. Oh, shit. Badr motherfucking Bing. Badr Jr., that is hilarious. Now, speaking of banter, just know Badr Jr. is motherfucking gonna be on your head. He don't play that shit. That flip-flops and stuff. Your name is officially on a list. That's all I know from Badr Jr. That boy, he hopped on the live stream the other day on the live panel and just started reading off the names of all the fucking trolls. That's my dog. Russian Boss said, full-time is real. Hey, I'm fake. No, I'm just kidding. What's going on, everybody? Cam Murphy said, what up, full-time? Not much. Actually going to be shutting the show down sooner rather than later. We were looking at UFC 228. Actually, the end of the show. We've been live for about 2 hours almost. 40 people watching now. 48 thumbs up. That's dope. That means everyone's finished biting their bagels. But if you haven't yet, do your boy a favor. Hit the thumbs up button, whether you're listening now or on the replay at work tomorrow. Wherever you're listening to this, you know how it goes. Forward says, what's good, Cam? Stamina MC Jr. is compiling the dossier as we speak. He lets not a damn thing go. Yo, Stamina knows. Badr Jr. is compiling the dossier as we speak. He ain't fucking around, dog. Which submission Ezekiel choke? No, I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't even know. It's not gonna be like no fucking triangle. I don't know. Maybe some like rear naked. I don't know how. Maybe he rocks him and then like what if this is how it happened? Like he rocks him right and then he goes for the submission. Like clips him up to where he's. I don't know. I don't know. It would just be so crazy. I just think that would be one of the results that blows all of our fucking minds. And that happens a lot of the time. We're like, oh! Like, even though we expected, we thought we knew what was going to happen. That's not how it happens. Like, so yeah, man. Rear naked choke forward. That's what I'm saying. Like, we could be like a rear naked choke against the fence or some crazy shit. Just knock him down. I don't know. I love Valentina, but I think 70% think she's a lesbian, but I still love her gay ass. I got no fucking clue what her sexual orientation is. And that's actually to her credit, honestly. Normally, whether you're gay or straight, people know. Valentina, everyone talks about her fucking skills. You don't see her even, you know what I'm saying, posting no damn ass shots, nothing like that. She don't have to do none of that. You don't even know if she's straight or gay. It's just you know about her fucking skills. P for P, number one. 135 or 125, what you need. Valentina's got the skills. Or she'll fucking shoot your ass. That's crazy. She's got all these martial art disciplines and she's so talented and she'll still shoot a goddamn fly off of a fucking beer bottle. What the hell? This is like, I said this in Coach's live stream. I said there needs to be like a female transporter. Valentina reminds me of, like, you guys remember the movie The Transporter? Well, I think Jason Statham, that motherfucker. You know what I'm talking about? That's what Valentina needs to be. The fucking female transporter. She needs to have her own action movie where she's punching shit, kicking shit, doing flips, shooting shit. She's like a real-life female action star. She speaks multiple languages. Like, what's going on here? This is like a movie. Honestly, a triangle from guard seems most likely for Conor for catching Khabib, slipping, being lazy in his ground and pound. Anything is possible. Yeah, it could be something like that. What if? Yeah, it could be. I mean, I want to marry Valentina, but deep down, I know she don't love men, says Kenshiro. I don't know what she loves, man, but Valentina's a beast. I know that. But yeah, no clue. Don't know anything. That's crazy. Honestly, I could see Valentina like just I don't even fuck it. Let's talk about it. We're just having some fun. It's the end of the show. I can see her being with like some fucking millionaire dude. You know what I'm saying? Like some Russian billionaire type shit. Like she seems like the type of chick that would be on the side of like some fucking royalty or something. Like Valentina, get that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like just a diplomatic. Like she could almost be like a fucking first lady type shit. Speaking multiple languages. Whoops ass. Like I'm just, like she could be on some. I could see her married to like some fucking billionaire that don't even want his name out there. You know what I'm saying? Or some crazy shit like that. She obviously ain't starving. I might be onto something. She ain't starving. You know what I'm saying? Because she was able to wait for Nico Montano. Nico Montano had multiple injuries. A lot of girls like Jessica Andrade, she can't wait on Rose Namajunas. She's got to fight after fight after fight trying to get that money because she needs the money. Valentina clearly don't need the checks as much as some of these other girls because she was cool with just, all right, Nico, we're fucking waiting. I'll be here when you're done. When your tonsils swell up or heal up, I'm fucking still here. So that she's not fighting as if she's hungry for the check. Like, oh, if I don't fight, I don't eat. So hey, maybe I'm onto something. Not full time. I see Valentina all up on chicks like that hostess on Contenders. What's her name? Laura Senko? Yo, chill. And Laura Senko, she's not gay, is she? I don't think she is, dog. Laura Senko is bad. She's bad. For sure. She's got her own little YouTube channel, too. Like, Aussie and Fancy. I think she does it with Megan Anderson. They break down cards and shit. The Aussie and Fancy breakdown. I didn't even know that was Laura Senko, honestly, until one of them popped up on, like, the predictions for the last fight. And they said their names. I didn't even realize that was Laura Senko. I never put two and two together. Stamina MC said Laura Senko is married. Yeah, I didn't think she wasn't. I didn't think she was either. Laura Senko's grinding, though. You watch Invicta, she's like she might be a commentator and the ring girl for Invicta. She's now like the ring girl and does shit for the Contender Series. Laura Senko is on her motherfucking grind. Full-time MMA, don't try to bag Laura Senko, homegirl. Valentina would be on that ass of yours if you tried. No, I'm not trying to. Shit, like you said, she's married. I'm saying she is bad, though. But that's just a personal observation. Laura Senko she's bad. And yeah, man. And also, yeah, I never got that feeling from her. I mean, she would be one of the baddest gay chicks around UFC if that was true. You know, shit, that was interesting. Yeah, I never even thought about that. Valentina's last fought a crackhead, said MMA Buzz. Hey, man, what's his name? There's a male fighter that used to be a junkie. I mean, you know, you clean up. Honestly, people who had those addictions, that doesn't mean there's going to be dog shit. Like, yeah, if you were smoking crack before your fight, you probably suck. But if you can turn your addiction into crack, or if you were addicted to something, if you got an addictive personality and you change that addiction into MMA, you become addicted to MMA, that's actually pretty fucking dangerous because you want to be addicted to it. You want to, you know what I'm saying? If she's using MMA as her new drug, that actually makes her better than you would think if she didn't have that addictive personality. Now, of course, like I said, if she's still smoking crack in between training sessions, forget what I'm saying. But if she actually cleaned up, which of course she's saying she did, or anyone else is saying they did, if you clean up and you transfer that addiction you had, on that bad addiction, into being addicted to training, that will make you a pretty dangerous motherfucker, honestly. And she was 8-0, and shit, who knows? I would like to see Priscilla Cachoeira versus Nico Montano. She was 8-0 fighting Valentina. Nico's like 5-2. Priscilla had a better record than Nico, and she even was fighting more experienced girls. Now, Nico Montano actually fought some good girls on the Tough House, but before the Tough House, she was fighting girls that were like 2-2, 3-1. Meanwhile, Priscilla Cachoeira, she was fighting girls that were like fucking 10-5 or whatever. They at least had some experience. So, I mean, either way, I mean, that may be true, but shit, she still might have more skills than some of these girls. I personally, I want to see after this fight Montano versus Cachoeira. I think it has to happen. I would love to see that fight. I don't know who wins. And it's crazy to say that. Like, the girl that just got fucking mauled by Valentina, how would she do against the champion? Don't be shy, Cam. We need the female perspective. Yes, we do. It's a motherfucking sausage fest, Cam. You're almost royalty in here. You almost get a wrench just because you're a female, and I know you've been around. But yeah, it's a sausage fest. Anytime Cam or Lolita, I don't even know if that's a chick, but with the name Lolita, I assume it is. But yeah, man, hey, always welcome. Always need that female perspective, especially in this motherfucking sausage fest that is the full-time family, or just that is MMA fandom. You know, I mean, sports growing and definitely getting better. I want to know what the fucking analytics looked like before Ronda Rousey. Because even right now, you look at your YouTube analytics, if you're an MMA channel, it's like 92% guys, 8% chicks. So that's after Ronda Rousey. I wonder what that shit looked like before Rousey came and really opened up those doors, you know? So yeah, what's going on? Well, I don't think Valentina is gay and she's going to fucking murk Nikki or Nico. I don't either. Cam Murphy, I've never really got that from her. I've never got the sense Valentina hanging around with no bunch of chicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of these gay chicks, you can kind of tell. Valentina looks very womanly. She'll put on dresses and shit. Like, if she was gay, she would be the female. You know what I'm saying? She would be the, I don't know the proper word for it, the girl side of it. You know, she'd be the feminine one. And who the fuck is going to be a butch to Valentina? Like, you ain't running shit. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have to be a man. Like, I just don't even see that working. But yeah, Fozzie Def sounded feminine as well, says Bada. Bada's already, I told you, Bada's on your ass. I look down and I see him talking about Fozzie. He said Fozzie sounded feminine as well. You're crazy, dog. Bada Jr. Fozzie said full-time, who should Ferguson fight next? Because is there any real challenge for this guy? He's fighting Tony Ferguson. It's already official. Tony Ferguson's fighting Anthony Pettis. That's official. But if it wasn't Anthony Pettis, the only other options right now, just who's not booked and whatnot, I would say Kevin Lee or Ally Aquinta. But yeah, he's already scheduled to face Anthony Pettis at UFC 229. Nico Montano is definitely not up to the task here. Seriously, says Student Bahar. It's a whew. Before these 18 MMA fights, Valentina was killing shit in Muay Thai. I'm saying killing shit. She wasn't just some Muay Thai scrub, no average. She was killing shit in Muay Thai. Then she already has 18 MMA fights in the meantime, in between time. She submitted Juliana Pena. She outstruck Holly Holm, the only bantamweight on the planet to arguably beat Amanda Nunes. She had 2 close fights with the bantamweight queen, and now she's at her natural weight class. Like, this is pound for pound number 1. And I can comfortably say that, at least arguably, over Cyborg and Nunes. Because Cyborg, we've never seen her fight at 155. We only know that she can fight at 145. That's one weight class. Amanda Nunes, she's fought at 145 in the past, but can she beat the champion? No. And there's not really enough of a weight class to know, is she even going to beat the top contenders at 145? She could be. I mean, that's why Amanda Nunes, you know, she I believe, was undefeated at 145 pounds before she has to take on Cyborg. So she might have some success at 145, but we don't get to see that because there's not a 145-pound division. Valentina, we know she's had success at 135. Now there is a 125 division, and so if she becomes this champion, that's multiple weight classes Valentina has been at the top of. And with that being said, that's pound for pound shit right there. That's 2 different weight classes. There's not really anybody you look at 125 that's going to beat Valentina, and no one at 135 could beat her except for Amanda Nunes. And she even fought some of the top contenders. It's not like she just fought Amanda Nunes and that's it. No, she fought Holly Holm. She fought Juliana Pena. She was fighting the top contenders in the division, beating them. So, Valentina, yeah, this is, I mean, the odds for this fight we talked about, but I think it's like, you'd have to bet like $1,000 to win 100 on this fight. So it's like, even though you know the result, you really can't really even win much money on that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want to risk a whole lot. You got to be a rich motherfucker. You bet like $50,000 to win $5,000. Like, if you have $50,000, you probably don't even need that much money to risk. You know what I'm saying? So hey, but yeah, man. The real question is, how does the fight end? That's the real question. Does Nico make it? I think honestly, I'm gonna give you my prediction because we all predict Valentina. I think Valentina. I think she might finish Nico, but I think it'll be, well, it's a 5-round fight. I think Nico makes it to the 3rd round. Not a lot of reason to give her that much credit, honestly. The only reason I am is because of her performance on The Ultimate Fighter. But if you just compared Nico's resume to Priscilla Cachoeira's resume, Priscilla's looks better. Until you look at Nico's stint on Tough. She did fight Barb Honchak on the show, who's like 10-4 and beat her. But some of those fights were 2-round decisions. The Tough show isn't 3-round fights even. So it's hard. But I think Valentina Shevchenko definitely can finish Nico Montano. She could do it early. She really could. She could walk through Nico and finish her in the 1st round. But I don't know if it happens that easy for Valentina in this fight. Nico didn't, and it wasn't just Barb Honchak on the show. Let me pull up Nico's resume on Sherdog. Nico Montano Sherdog. She beat Montana De La Rosa. She's pretty talented. And also Lauren Murphy. Not the best fighters in the world, but she 9-4. You know what I'm saying? 10-4. At least they have some experience. She has fought some good girls on the show. Now, if you were just looking at this resume right here, you'd be like, oh, she's done for. But she had a good stint on Tough, and that was more recently than all of these fights. So I'll give her that benefit of the doubt. And this fight was even at bantamweight. So at flyweight, Nico Montano, I think she'll make it. You know what I'm saying? I think she'll actually make it. She's actually she's fought 5 rounds multiple times. She's going to have good footwork. That's one thing Nico Montano does have. You know, her father, I think, was a boxer. They announced it when she won the show. Her father was actually a pretty famous boxer, if I'm not mistaken. And she had her boxing and jiu-jitsu. That's really what she has. She's not a wrestler. So I think she's got some footwork. And I think her footwork, if anything, is going to be how she survives this fight until later in the fight. You know what I'm saying? And you know, after Valentina Shevchenko lands some leg kicks, stops that movement a little bit, you know what I'm saying, slows her down a little bit, and she's able to get her hands on her, that's when I think it's going to be over for Nico Montano. But I don't think Valentina's just going to walk through her in the 1st round, slam her to the mat, get her out of there, armbar, Ronda Rousey type shit. I think Nico's going to last actually more than 2 rounds. So that's my bold prediction. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Kichiro Ryu MMA said, I put 350 on Till at plus 170 a month ago. Let's go, baby Till. Yo, if you win, that's going to be a good bet, but that's a tough bet. I'm telling you, Tyron Woodley, that's, you know what I'm saying? Right now, it's almost a pick 'em. That's crazy. By the time this shit finishes, actually, Till was plus 1. I'm actually surprised Till was plus 170 that long ago, but I know you be making them early bets, so I know you're not lying. But yeah, that's actually a good bet. Because right now it's about even. So that means there's actually quite a bit of people putting money on Till, it seems like. He started off 170. Right now it's about even. So, yeah, man, I think actually in my fucking, my fake money betting, I might have put a little on Woodley. That's a close fight. So, I mean, we'll see what happens on that one. But good bet, you know, if you win for sure. Like all bets, though, right? If you win, they're great. Hey, Ward Diaz says Russian, but student Bahar Muhammad Ahmed says, I can't wait for UFC 229 pre-fight press conference. Me either, man. McGregor's got to at least give us one press conference. That's going to be, you know, that's all we need. He ain't doing a whole lot of media, it seems, but one press conference. But, yeah, of course, also the rest of the card, we got Zabit taking on Brandon Davis. I think we're all picking Zabit to come in here and showcase his skills once again in this fight. Short notice. Yair injured. Or is he? Oh, he's out of the fight, so we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's injured. So Brandon Davis, Killer B stepping up. Andrade versus Kovalevich. I got my girl Andrade. It almost feels like getting starved out at this point. She's talked about how she's selling her fucking cookie. She's selling baked goods and her UFC gear to make ends meet and pay for training and shit like that. And it's like her story could change quick. If Rose Namajunas gets healthy, if Jessica Andrade fights Rose, she's got a good chance of winning. Both of them do. I'm not counting Rose out. I'm just saying Jessica Andrade is a beast. It's not like Rose is just going to steamroll Jessica Andrade by any means. So if Jessica, and now check this out. Not only would that be huge for Jessica Andrade, who seems like, you know, she needs the money bad. So a title fight, you're going to get that money. So Jessica Andrade really needs that title fight. Not just because she's earned it, or deserves it, which I know people don't like those words, earned and deserved. But Jessica Andrade, her only loss at 115 is to the champion Joanna, and since then she's looked amazing. She ragdolled the best grappler in the division, Claudia. She fucking did the same to Tisha Torres, took her down 10 times, whooped her ass. Jessica Andrade is a beast at 115. And so if she fought for the title, for one, she needs the money. For two, she could win the fight. And for three, she's fought at 135, so you goddamn know she's willing to fight at 125. Jessica Andrade could win the 115 title, and I for sure know she would be willing to fight Valentina. For one, she could win. I don't know if she would. Valentina's a beast. But for two, the money. A champ-champ fight for Jessica Andrade, like, she's got potential to change her situation if she can get that title shot. And if she beats Carolina, there's no fucking ifs, ands, or buts. She's got the title shot. Especially recently with Joanna beating Tisha Torres. Nobody wants to see Joanna versus Rose 3. The only two people left to fight for the title are Jessica or Carolina. Whoever wins this fight. And with that being said, all we have to wait on is what's going on with Rose. But Rose Namajunas recently said some shit like, I don't think there's a clear number one contender. What? I do. But either way, we'll see what happens. Rose healing up injuries, but Jessica Andrade, she needs that injury to heal up sooner rather than later. Jessica Andrade needs that title shot. You know what I'm saying? Because her fortunes could change. But one of the things about it is, Jessica Andrade, yeah, she's selling shit to make ends meet, and it sounds crazy because she's a number 2 contender, but I think she pays for a lot of her family. You know what I'm saying? Like in Brazil, a lot of her family probably broke. She pays for a lot of people's living, and so, she's having to pay for her training camps as well. But that's not really nobody else's fault if you're paying for, like if you got your mom a house, your dad a house, your brothers, or however it's going. Sometimes that happens. You got to help your family out. I know eventually that's kind of what I fucking hope to be able to do. Like, so I'm sure a lot of fighters who are getting money, at least some money, they're doing that for the family, supporting their family when they need to. And that could be where some of her money is going, because people have pointed out the American dollar goes a long way in Brazil. So like, what the fuck is she spending all her money on? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? She could be supporting her family or whatever reason, but either way, it sounds crazy when you hear a number 2 contender in the UFC is selling their gear and their memorabilia to make ends meet. And when you look at the situation specifically with Jessica Andrade, boy, she's fighting these contender fights, but she could already be fighting for a title if Rose Namajunas was healthy, which she says she's not. So after this fight, we'll see what happens. Joanna's talked about an interim title fight. I would not want to see Jessica Andrade versus Joanna in an interim title fight. For one, because if that happens, we already seen the fight. And Joanna won that fight. And that would be terrible for Jessica Andrade as well, because, like, look at this. If she had to fight Joanna in an interim title fight, she might never get that championship pay that she clearly needs at this point. Now, that's one way that the fork in the road can go. She's got 2 paths that she can take after this fight, if she wins. But she is the favorite. People do expect her to win this fight. But there's 2 paths Jessica Andrade can take. If Rose Namajunas is not healthy and she has to fight again, she might have to fight Rose in an interim title fight. Or not Rose. She might have to fight Joanna in an interim title fight. Now, if Rose is healthy, then she could fight for a title. She needs that money. What if she won? She could fuck around and parlay that into a champ fight, fighting Valentina at fucking flyweight. We know Jessica Andrade would move up. She used to fight as big as 135. So she could go either, stay broke if she has to fight Joanna and loses, or she could fucking, her dream, it could go the other way. It could be a happy ending for Jessica Andrade if she gets the Rose fight, wins it, and who knows, even defends the belt, because that's money, or if she can fight for a whole nother title. That would be insane. If you thought about, like, that could happen as soon as 2 years from now. Jessica Andrade can go from having to sell baked goods and sell her UFC memorabilia to being one of the first female champs. Now, I don't think she beats Andrade at 125, but I don't know. She is a big girl. It is, who knows? I mean, I wouldn't pick anybody against Valentina, but it's just a possibility. So, Andrade versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. George Page says, I can see Rose fighting Jessica in December card with Cyborg Nunes. That would be a great spot. That would be a great place for that title fight. 2 WMMA fights. Or I mean, even at UFC 231, maybe. There's been talks of Holloway versus Ortega, but if they need another title fight, But I'm sure Jessica Andrade would want to fight Rose, as soon as possible. She says she has a neck injury. Just wondering. Yeah, she said she had a neck injury, but also, it's not like a fractured neck. She said one of the reasons she feels like taking the time off and healing up her injuries is because she doesn't feel like there's a clear-cut number one contender. And so with that being said, she might actually be ready to go sooner rather than later if she felt like there was a number one contender. So that's why it led me to believe it's not the most like a fucking broken neck or a neck fracture. Little bit of a neck injury, but, it's one of them that she said she's healing up, taking the time to heal up because there's not a number one contender. So she might actually be able to fight sooner rather than later. George Page says, I hope Max is cleared with all the medical issues. He is cleared. The UFC is offering them, the UFC already offered Brian Ortega and Max Holloway contracts to fight at UFC 231. Brian Ortega revealed that recently. He said he signed his, and we know Max Holloway ain't the type to turn a fight down, so that fight could go down in Canada. Fozzie Erie says, Bada Jr., you're that ugly your mom had to meet around your neck just so your dog would play with you. Oh, Fozzie, you're fucking up firing back at Bada Boom. You're fucking up firing back at my boy Bada Jr. You're on that list, though. You're already on the list, so I guess what else do you do from there? Stamina said neck injury. Forward said neck injury. Rose Namajunas, we all like Rose. We're going to get her the benefit of the doubt, but I'm just saying, Jessica Andrade, I know her nickname says like Bate Estaca right there, but her real nickname is Mini Cyborg, and we all know Cyborg's the most feared woman on the planet. So, you know what I'm saying? Just, that's all I'm saying. If there was a number one contender, she'd have to answer the call to fight, especially since she's not had any surgery. Doesn't matter what Rose thinks of the division. Exactly. Jessica Andrade, now, you know how it goes. If Jessica Andrade was somebody that not only the UFC was behind, but the fans, she'd probably already be in the title fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, possibly. Like, some of these fighters that, like Darren Till getting a title shot and shit like that. Jessica Andrade has earned the shot. She is a number one contender. She's already a number one contender. She could already be fighting for the title. But she's going to cement it with this win here. She's having to keep taking fights to cement it. When she ragdolled Claudia Gadelha, you could have made the argument. When she beat Tisha Torres after that, okay. She's for sure number one. Now she's fighting again. She could already be fighting for the title. So, honestly, there is a number one contender, but it's just not like, I guess, cemented. Because if she beats Carolina, it's like, okay, there's no one else. What's going on here? She should give this fucking girl a title shot. She'll sell you some cookies. What does she got to do? You want some of fucking Jessica Andrade's macadamia and chocolate chips, or what's going on? She got the coldest chocolate chips in the game. She's trying to make ends meet. She needs a title shot. If she wins this fight, there's nobody else. Just looking at the UFC rankings really fast, she's already number one. Joanna already fought twice. If Rose was healthy today and Jessica didn't have a fight, she's next. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Joanna already fought twice. You're out of there. Claudia got ragdolled by Andrade. Not close. The only person up in the top 5 that even is not Jessica Andrade you can consider is Carolina. And Carolina's taking her out now to make sure there's nobody. If she beats Carolina, then she's beat literally all these top girls. If she beats Carolina, she beat Claudia, she beat Carolina, and she beat Tisha. And so she's just getting held out at that point. If Rose Namajunas' neck injury isn't healed up when Jessica wins this fight, we got to have some answers. But any fighter, not just Rose, usually when there's a clear-cut number one contender, they're not going to take the route of looking like a coward. They're not, that's when they're like, all right, then we got to fight. Kind of like Nico. She don't want to look like a coward. That's why she's injured too, but that's why, she doesn't want to look like a coward. She's taking this fight. If not, she could very well have vacated the title if she was really scared of the fight. But no, she's going to get in there and take her lumps. You know what I'm saying? She's a fighter. You think she wants to look like a coward? She's going to fight. Now, we have saw champions in the past, GDR. You know what? They just take that L. You know what? I'm not fighting you. They get out of there. They fucking retire, vacate the belt. But Rose Namajunas, I don't see her doing that at all. Once it's clear that Tisha Torres is the number one contender and there's no more ifs, ands, or buts, then I think she'll take the fight. But aside from that, you know what I'm saying? She hasn't taken it yet. That's it. But you know what I'm saying? We see that a lot of the times from the champions. You know, once you win the belt, fighters take the time to heal their injuries and stuff like that. And, you know, they take time off and shit. Rose, no different. I mean, when she beat Joanna in November. She took about 6 months off, fought Joanna again. And now, it's been about 5 months, you know, so she's been fighting about once every 6 months, healing up some injuries. And honestly, that'd be about perfect timing, really. October or November, that'd be about 6 months. So, yeah, I mean, she's healing up. That's kind of good for the champion. I mean, for one, you want to be 100% defending your belt. Now, you know what I'm saying? Because you make the most money as the champion. But if you're Jessica Andrade, you don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? You're done selling fucking baked goods, and you might have wanted to keep your fucking shorts from whenever you beat who is Jessica got? She's got some big wins, man. She's even fought at 135. She probably done already sold all of her 135. You know what I'm saying? She probably wanted to keep some of her fucking fight shorts from fighting at 135 pounds. Like, look, this is whenever I fought. I gotta pull up her resume to make this even better. But look, these are my fucking shorts from whenever I beat Raquel Pennington at 135 pounds. Yeah, little old me. She already had to sell the Raquel Pennington shorts. Them were some of the first ones that had to go. You know what I'm saying? She's probably got her fucking Jessica Penne shorts right now on eBay. Jessica Andrade's wife probably wants to smell those later. I'm just kidding. I had to make the joke. I thought about it. I'm just saying. Jessica Andrade don't want to hear about that shit. You're healing up. You got a fucking... There's no number one contender. I would have liked to hear what Jessica Andrade had to say right then, right there. Because honestly, I love Rose. Everything else she had to say, completely agree with. But when she said there's no clear-cut number one contender, I went, what? Shraggy? Like, you know what I'm saying? What? Hold on. No, there is. Chill. Jessica Andrade is a monster. We'll see what happens, though. He only signed a new one after the Mayweather shit show. George Page says, remember that Keith shitted on herself and some simps wanted to buy them? Oh, yeah, for sure. That was crazy. She said somebody offered like $15,000. Make sure you take pictures with the belt because it's going to be gone, Nico. Jon Jones voice. Yo. That's, make sure you got to hit up a family reunion. You want to make sure that's what it is, I think. You know, when you're the champion. You want to make sure you at least get through a full season for pictures. You want to have a picture with your belt by the Christmas tree. You want to have a picture with your belt in your Halloween costume. Easter, you want everyone to, the family reunion. You just want to, at every single event, you want to be able to say, look, that was the year I was the UFC champion. But if you lose your belt from fucking January to fucking April, you ain't got no holidays. You ain't got no Christmas pictures with the belt, no Thanksgiving, none of that shit. Ain't no belt around the turkey, none of that shit. So I think a lot of the times, that's all it is. They just want some good pictures, holiday pictures with that belt. Maybe that's what it is. No, it's a joke. But full-time family, man, it's been a good show. We've been live for almost 2.5 hours. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. It's Monday. If you're listening at work another day, enjoy the shift, man. I'm going to be on the grind tomorrow, too. If you're listening live now, I appreciate you guys, faux show, coming through the group chat, hitting it up. And we're not all the way out of here. We're going to go get on our UFC Yankovic type shit. So we're going to play a song or two. Somebody was requesting Fire Snoop. We'll run that joint. So we ain't all the way out, but we're just closing the show down. But that's what I'm saying. You need them pictures with the belt. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, George Page, good to see you here, man. Good night to you too, brother. But yeah, man, it's going down, motherfucking. Thanks everyone for coming through. If you haven't yet, hit thumbs up before you forget. Fozzy, what the fuck is a Fozzy? I don't think you ever answered that, but it's all good. We're gonna forgive you. Bada's on your ass. Wow, Valentin is minus 1,400 now. Oh, who is placing those bets? Somebody's like, fuck it, I'm risking the farm. I don't blame you. You're going to win a farm. Well, no, you're not. You're not going to win shit. You, bet your house to, win a fucking garage because the odds are not great. But people are putting that money down. Where's the link to UFC Yankovic? Let's see if we got it right here. I'm going to put the link to UFC Yankovic in the chat. And if you would, do your boy a favor, hit subscribe on that channel. 796 subscribers, trying to get it to 1,000. That is my end goal. If I can get that channel to $1,000, I'll probably motherfucking, what's that shit we did? The, what's it called? Oh, I did it on the live stream. I'm having a brain fart. The fucking, where I was rubbing my stomach. What's that shit called, though? The name of it. I'll do that shit if we get 1,000 again. Truffle Shuffle. Y'all remember the Truffle Shuffle? Oh, $5 super chat from George Page. You, sir, are a god amongst men. Thank you very much, George Page, for the 5 in the super chat. That helps out a lot. Thank you very much, good sir. But yeah, man, link is in the the description as well. Link is in the chat right now. Hit that. Hit subscribe. Much appreciated. Once we hit $1,000, Truffle Shuffle, and we're gonna make a Truffle Shuffle fucking theme song. I don't know. We're gonna go crazy. That's gonna be super dope. But yeah, man, like I said, we started the show off talking about McGregor versus Khabib, the rematch. Hey, I ain't got no, like I said, whenever I did that April Fool's joke and I predicted that Tony Ferguson was gonna injure his shit, I didn't know. I don't really got no inside information, man. It was mystic. I don't know how it happened, but I wrote this song. I said, I'm a fuck Khabib up, then go rematch Floyd Mayweather, and bada boom, bada bang, look where we are now. Mayweather Sr.'s talking about fucking Mayweather-McGregor 2. He's talking about go rematch Floyd Mayweather. So let's run the motherfucking mystic song. Of course, McGregor versus Khabib going down at UFC 229. UFC Yankovic has something to say about it. Let's get to it.
Full time.
They call me Conor McGregor, there's no one better. I'm a fuck Khabib up, then go rematch Floyd Mayweather. If this dog shit that Gastani thinks he can stand with me, I'll damage him and leave him panicking. Let Russia know I am the king. I don't like you, won't even pretend to try to. I've waited this long to fight you. You shouldn't have fucked with my crew. You ambush Artem Lobov in the hotel lobby, so we went and called gang. Now I'm coked up off of Molly, now I'm coming to the stage. So I think that you should probably stay the fuck up out my way. Somebody get me a dolly. Yo, Conor McGregor, what the fuck is wrong with you? Come here, let me smash you like chicken, just let me humble you. You take all these drugs, but you won't take home a W. If we fight in UFC or if we fight with guns and crews. No, let me stop it, you don't want me to take it there. If you want, you can take a bear shit location and I'll be there. What the fuck is up, full-time family? UFC Yankovic in the building. Hit subscribe if you haven't. I see we got one new subscriber. We are at 797. We were just at 796. What the fuck is going on? But we're going to end the show for the day. Of course, we're going to be live every day. If I find work tomorrow, hopefully I can. I really want to get back to fucking work. I can't wait. I want to fucking move to this new studio. I'm sick of this fucking payday loan. I can't wait. I'm trying to find work, and if I do, the show will be in the daytime tomorrow, not the nighttime like now. So, if so, impromptu, make sure you got the notification bells on just in case it decides to work for the live stream tomorrow. But we're going to end the show tonight with Snoop Dogg, motherfucking hashtag Fire Snoop. Y'all know what it is. Motherfucking Snoop Dogg got lippy. He got wordy with Conor McGregor. Called him a bitch and all. Oh, fuck that bitch, cuz! Fuck that bitch! Let's go, Money Mayweather! He chose the fucking wrong side. He chose Team Mayweather. He chose Team Boxing, even though he was hired by the UFC to do the Snoopcast. Hired by the UFC and you choose Team Boxing? Hashtag Fire Snoop. What the fuck's really going on, full-time family? Yeah. You know you fucked up, right? Full-time in the house. Let's get it. With so much drama in this day and age, it's kinda hard being full-time MMA, but I somehow, some way, keep coming up with content for my hitters like every single day. Now let's get to this nigga Snoop. Disrespecting McGregor, thinking that shit was cute. Calling Conor a bitch, well what the fuck does that make you? You ain't no big dog, old nigga, you a pooch. And keep it real, Conor didn't even fucking lose. Fuck the Mayweathers, made $1 million off them dudes. And that's in a pillow fight. Boxing ain't no real fight. How he get knocked out to walk out looking like $1 million lights? Snoop, I think you sipping too much gin and juice, cause something's gotten into you. What the fuck you thinking dissing one of the dudes getting you paid? Now a lot of people don't like you. Got them on Twitter yelling hashtag Fire Snoop. Bitch! Full-time in the house. Hey. Full-time in the house.